I'll call this. Seriously? I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up. I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
Objection.
I will fuck you up. KO. I will fuck you up.
Bukaki. Bukaki. Trooper Bukaki. 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 Trooper Bukaki. Bukaki.
Welcome to the Weekend Live Show.
508 is where I'm from.
We run down the biggest stories of the week with you every Saturday night. Let us know in the comments right now where you reppin'.
Apache Junction, Taunton, Worcester, Long Island, Manchard, South Florida, Webster, Malden, Framingham, Tucson, Billerica, Salem, Gloucester, Moosop, Connecticut, Charleston, South Carolina, Roslindale, Moosop, Connecticut, London, Hanson, Glendale, Arizona, Lynn, Mapleville, Quincy.
Food stands, leave your clothes, buddy, and then we're screwing up the
funny ass guy, man.
Have you ever heard of kind of like, yeah? Are you a fan?
508 is where I'm from.
Hey, what's up?
508 is where I'm from.
How was that?
You a freaking idiot. Stop telling people that I'm mentally deranged and stupid.
Call me Aidan. I'm not a doctor, but...
Get out of my store, please.
You're a fucking loser.
You are a loser.
You're not a journalist. You're nobody. You're not turtle hair. Don't make such fun of the criminal justice system.
NFL on the house, log out.
Let's get this party started.
And I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. And we will continue on our journey for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed.
Tick, tick, boom. Boys, go baby, we bringing our toys. Boys, chopper be singing, should be on the boards. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets.
Karen Reed has supporters who've shown up in large numbers.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this, so it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. An outpouring of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. Unbelievable situation. Never seen anything like it.
Tick, tick, boom.
You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me?
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. It's go, 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 go time.
Tick, tick, boom.
Boom! What's up, turtle people? How's everyone out there doing tonight? Good, excellent. So as you guys can see, I'm not in my normal environment here. I do not decorate my home like this at all. I'm not festive at all. I don't do anything for the holidays really. But anyway, I just don't have many things. Right? But you got to do a show. You got to do a show because we haven't had a show yet. I wasn't planning. I was like going to go back, but then it was too much work. I had dinner tonight with the Glera and Auntie Deb, right? And Lauren Murray and Meredith and it was lovely, and couldn't make it home in time, so I'm doing it here. So anyway, guys, welcome to the show. My name is Aidan Kearney. If you're new here, I go on Facebook by the pen name Clarence Woods Emerson. Follow me on there. I do a little bus stop live stream every weekday morning to kind of start the day in case I ever get arrested again at the bus stop, because they like to do that. So follow me on there. I also go by Uncle Turtle Boy to old school turtle riders. So you can call me Uncle Turtle Boy if you'd like. You can call me Doctor. I actually prefer that. Dr. Turtle Boy or just Doctor, whatever you want. It's my preferred pronoun. I've earned the title because if Jill Biden's a doctor, then so am I. Or you can call me Daddy, is also acceptable. Not required, not mandatory. I understand that could be a little weird and a deal breaker for some people, but some people also like it. So I don't really care what you call me. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night, even though tonight's Sunday, night at 9 p.m. sharp. And make sure you smash that subscribe button. Give us a big thumbs up afterwards. Leave a comment, all that fun stuff. All helps with the algorithm, you name it. Hook it up. All right. So if anybody wants their messages read out loud tonight on the show, you can do that by putting money in the machine. There's a little thing at the top. Should be linked to the top of the chat. It's called Turtle Chat, because we don't have super chats here because we got demonetized like 3.5 years ago because soon-to-be former President Biden had a vaccine mandate I didn't really care for. And I kind of went off on it, and you can't, that was back in the censorship days before Elon Musk was in charge of everything. And you couldn't like say stuff back then, or else you can't collect money anymore. People can't give you money. And that's fine because those crooks at Google, I know Sean in the Gulf's got a friend at Google now too, but those crooks at Google, they take like 30-40% of all turtle chats. So it's highway robbery anyway. So we built our own platform, and it's called Turtle Chat. You click at the link at the top. You can give whatever amount of money you want. When you do that, I'll get a notification and I'll read your message out loud to the class just like that. And it'll be all good. All right, cool. And I'll read some of those in one. Well, wait, where the fuck did it go? Hold on. Did I lose them? Hold on. I got to make sure I can read these. WBN. All right. And now it should work. Let's see. All right, cool. I got it working. Awesome. All right. So what's today? Is today November 24th? Yeah, today's the 24th, right? Because I'm getting all these donos on the 24th. Okay, so let me read some of these to start us off right. Start the evening off right, shall we? All right. First, we got Peter Phillips sends 25 smackaroos and says, "G'day, Turtle. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to tune in for a while. However, it's good to see you are still hard at work fighting for justice. Sean M. Sean McDonough. What a dipstick he's turned out to be. Down under, we call them a kangaroo loose in the top paddock. Cheers, Peter Bendigo, Victoria. Awesome. So yeah, Sean is a kangaroo loose in the top paddock. That's what he is. That sounds like an insult. And last night I'm sure was a tough one for Sean in the Gulf and a lot of the turtle haters out there, the Grant Smith Ellis of the world, who have been pushing this false narrative of dissent in the ranks and a lack of unity going on. I think I'd say they feel pretty stupid, but I mean, these are people who wake up every day and say some of the most tone deaf things possible that makes you think that they're just completely oblivious and have zero self-awareness. So I don't know if they did. I don't know if they thought about that. I mean, it's like, but we'll get to some of that shit. So anyway, thank you for that one, Peter. John sends $16 and says, I saw Meredith and others posting that Matt Vagina Titus had said critical things about Karen's fundraiser. We're going to get to that. I went to Matt's Twitter page to see what he said and found out he blocked me. I know. Anybody else get blocked by Valentinas without even like ever tweeting at him? I think he went through my entire list of people who follow me, which is over 100,000 people on Twitter. And I think he just went through the whole list and just blocked everyone, like all these people left and right. I don't know. Is there a thing you can press for that? Is there like a button you can press that you can just block all of someone else's followers? If I've never heard of it, but it looks like he did that. And if there's no button that you could press to do that, that means this motherfucker went through my entire 100,000 people and blocked all of them. That's wild to me. That's absolutely wild. It's like, and we're going to get to him. Like, when you thought Valentinas couldn't be a bigger, like, you thought Matt Phelps was the biggest turd in the room. And then Valentinas is like, hold my beer. And just, bro, he went on Plevin. He went on Plevins tonight, which is just like, he has no clue. He has no clue how he's like, oh, you think I'm a second-rate manager? Pfft, watch me. I'm going to go on Plevins. That'll show him. Oh, bro, it's fucking cringe, dude. Cringe, embarrassing. No wonder Steve Robinson wants to fire you too. Oh yeah, talk to him about that. We'll get to that. We'll get to all that. Yeah. Anyway, he goes, I went on his Twitter. I found out he blocked me and never followed him, never commented. However, I have commented on your post being critical of him. Okay, maybe that's why. Of his Bobo M.William fraud. I question that if this podcast is so full of lies and misinformation, that one could likely assume Phelps' previous true crime books and documentaries were also full of bullshit. Oh, I definitely assume that. I also commented positively only your posts for exposing Matty Vagina. Apparently, he doesn't like being exposed. As a lousy entertainment, quote unquote, lawyer who doesn't stand behind his clients, he will be lucky to ever get clients again in the future. It couldn't happen to a bigger dickhead. Here is another donation in lieu of downloading that shitty podcast. So the Phelps and Vagina Man don't get a dime from me. That's the thing about these guys. I think he said something about he's never going to find any manager to work with him again. Like, bro, Valentinas, you know I have a deal with Compelling Pictures, right? You know I have that, and you know how big that's going to be. You know what that's. You're not stupid. You know what that is. You know, like, how big that fucking deal is, right? And how serious Jeff is about making that shit happen, and what we already have in the works going with. You know all that because you've had conversations with Jeff, so you know that's just simply untrue. I will be part of a lot of major deals moving forward. You just won't be there for it because you're a fucking idiot, because you are an incompetent Bobo loser who is in love with Matt Phelps. Like, there's no other way to describe it. Valentinas wants to fuck Matt Phelps harder than anything I've ever seen in my life. Like, he wants to fuck the shit out of him. And again, I don't know if this is a fact, but it's the only thing that makes sense. Like, he sees like Phelps doesn't even have to do anything. Like, Phelps doesn't even spoke out in defense of himself yet. He just texts Valentine, hey, someone on the internet's being mean to me. I gotcha. Oh yeah, I'll go on there and defend you to the end of theirs. It's freaking weird. Those two, really weird. And thank God I'm done with them. Hopefully. Okay, thank you. Elizabeth sends $10 and goes, thank you for what you've done and continue to do. I'm disgusted by the state of Massachusetts. They continue to prosecute someone who's factually innocent and without evidence to support her guilt. What a waste of time and resources. Massachusetts has not evolved much past the time of the witch trials. That's a good analogy there at the end. I mean, it's really not that different. Certainly, I mean, Sacco and Vanzetti was almost 100 years ago. And we kind of look back on that as like, that was a mistake. Same courthouse, by the way, in case Vinny Politan hasn't pointed that out 5,000 times. But that's historically gone down. If you don't know about the Sacco and Vanzetti case, two Italian immigrant anarchists who were convicted of murder and robbery and were given the electric chair. And a lot of people think that they were innocent. The evidence against them was not the best. But it was better than the evidence against Karen Reed. I'll tell you that much. Like, I've as a student of history, I've studied the Sacco and Vanzetti case, and there was a much stronger case for their guilt than there ever was for Karen Reed. I mean, Karen Reed's a joke. Like, what's happening to her in the facts of that case are a literal joke. Like, and we've been over it a million times. It's an absolute farce that we're still here. And they've put, I'll give them one thing. For people who have no facts or evidence to back their side, they put up one hell of a fight. I'll give them that, right? That's the only credit I can give the other side, is that there is another side, right? That they still exist, that they found 8 to 10% of the population who's followed this story, who is willing to say, yeah, I think she's guilty still, and I'm not embarrassed to say that. Like, I will give them that is the only thing that they've been able to do. Now, they don't have the best spokespeople. Like, everybody who goes out and advocates for Karen Reed is guilty, is just that they're clowns. Like you see these people and they're like, how can anybody watch Jennifer Kofindafer and be like, I'm glad to have that person on my team? I'd be embarrassed to have. I mean, she looks like she has to wear a helmet everywhere she goes. Does she not? I mean, Kofindoofus is when you hear her, you get dumber as she speaks. And I would be so embarrassed to have somebody like that. Or, I mean, you go down the line of the people there. I mean, Plevin, bro, Plevin. Oh my goodness, that he's a joke. Plevin knows he's a joke. Plevin's like trying to be a joke. Don't you guys? I know. I don't know if all his, because he's got a little grift going with that. You know, he's like, I'm gonna be the joke. I'm gonna be the everybody else has this one position, so I'm gonna take this position, and then I'm gonna say I'm going against the mob, and then I'm gonna get some pity donos from losers. And he's like, okay, well, I'm the only one in that market, so I'm gonna capitalize that. I'm gonna get on court TV, you know, and that's just what I'm gonna do. So, you know, he's got that going for him. And, you know, Sean on the Golf could be next. I mean, Sean should, I mean, if he was smart, he would flip at this point because he's kind of in this no man's land right now where our side all thinks he's a fucking joke. Like, free Karen Reed people completely reject and are disgusted by Sean on the Golf. If you support Karen Reed and you still like, are supporting Sean on the Golf, you're literally retarded. Like, there's no other way around it. You're dumber than the people on the other side. So just know that. Like, either that or you just haven't been paying attention at all. I don't know if you've seen this, but he's like been actively trying to put Karen in jail. You might have missed that. So maybe pay attention and he's working with Phelps. Like he's working with everybody who sucks. So, and he's, in case you also haven't noticed, he's just made everything up. Nothing Sean on the Golf has said has come true. Literally nothing. You cannot point to a single thing in the Karen Reed case that he has told you will happen that has actually happened. Name one. You can't do it. It's never, ever happened before. So you got people like that. He might as well switch because he's in this no man's land now where he's stuck between, you know, should I, you know, like I got everybody in the Karen Reed, his innocent side hates me. And then you got all these people over here who they're saying nice things about me and they're buttering me up, you know, but I'm still saying Karen Reed's innocent and they're not going to like that, and I'll never fully be accepted by them if I do that. So, like, he hasn't posted in days, and that's what he's contemplating. He's sitting there contemplating his future. Like, where do I go from here? The Karen Reed, like, he can't, like, talk about grifter. I mean, that guy's a grifter extraordinaire. Like, he didn't do anything. He did nothing. He didn't show up to anything, like, nothing. Oh, I'm not going to sell things. Here's a bunch of merch. Here's my memberships. Here's fucking, you know, we're going to read all the donos out loud, all that shit. So anyway, I mean, you look at the people on their side and you're like, I couldn't be more embarrassed to be associated with these people. Like, these are dumb. Like, even the attorneys, they occasionally find an attorney like that guy, Matt Timpanic on Twitter. Oh my God. Oh my God. Have you ever heard him speak? Have you ever heard that guy speak? He sounds like he's missing a couple chromosomes. Something's wrong with that, whatever he is. Like there's something seriously deranged about that individual. So and then you look at our side, right? And it's like really smart people. Like, okay, you could say me, whatever, I'm brash, I'm rough around the edges, fine. But like, how do you look at somebody like Melanie Little or Mark Battereau, right? These extremely intelligent people, right? Who are like, yeah, this is obvious. Like, we have great people on our side. And Karen's attorneys, I know they're paid to say what they do because they're attorneys. They're obviously going to back their client. But you've never seen them. They've never been this passionate about a client before, ever. Like Alan Jackson was not this passionate about Kevin Spacey or Harvey Weinstein or any of the other people he's, represented. So, yeah. So anyway, so thanks for that one, Elizabeth. Tom sends $5 and goes, Karen won't speak to Turtle Boy with like every other letter capitalized that way. It's hard if you don't see it in writing, you don't understand. He's mocking that. So yeah, that kind of was put to bed last night amongst other things. And we'll get to that. So thank you very much, Tom. Sharon sends 100 big ones. Woo! Thank you, Sharon. Very nice of you. Says, you are an amazing man. You are fighting the battle of a lifetime, and I know you will prevail. Well, thank you very much, Sharon. I'm fighting a battle of a lifetime, but so is Karen Reed. And, so are other people who I think if other people end up getting charged with shit, I don't know if they will. We still haven't heard back from the Ducky people. Rich Schiffer is the only one who's been charged so far. But, yeah, it's pretty Pretty bogus. Okay, so thank you. You're fighting the battle of a lifetime. I know you prevail, and I think I know. Like, I'm not even worried about my charges. Like, sometimes I forget that I'm being charged with so many crimes. The only thing I'm worried about is being on bail. I hate being on bail. Like, that's the worst. Is like I am out on bail, and like when I go out, you go out for. I told this anecdote last week. Went out for drinks, or not drinks, for dinner. After my daughter's like last soccer practice of the year or something, and with all the other parents, and we go to Chinese food, and all the other parents order a Mai Tai, and I'm like, you should get a Mai Tai, they're good. Can't, sorry, I'm out on bail. And it's like, and they all know what the deal is. They all know. I mean, they're not stupid. They know I'm kind of in the news. I think the other kids on the soccer team have the dad who is on the news a lot, and is on bail. And so it's like being on bail is the worst part about it, because that's the only thing, as I found out, that can put me in jail, is like being out on bail, and you can have it revoked for anything, for any nonsense, not convicted of nothing. And then you can just have your bail revoked. So, luckily, but I know I'll never be convicted. Like, that's one thing. It's like sometimes I forget about all these charges because I'm like, I don't ever think about that, because it's just like, I know I'll never be convicted. The question is, how much are we going to expose in the process? Like, how many people are we going to take down in the process? When we sue, when we sue these motherfuckers, and that has not gone away either. Remember, there's a civil aspect of this too that's been in the works, that I have a Manhattan law firm, right, that has been working behind the scenes with this. Right, working on the civil aspect of it, because it's not enough just to have these charges thrown out and be exonerated. That's fine. That's going to happen. But I don't get those 60 days back, right? I don't get those 60 days back. I don't get the mental anguish that I've been put through with that, and the trauma and the PTSD and the sleepless nights. That doesn't go away, and there needs to be justice for that, and there needs to be accountability for that. And there needs to be closure. And so that's the question. Isn't just, that. And I'm going to be honest with you, like, we're suing motherfuckers too. Like, we're like, not just this Commonwealth, but all these people online who wanted to say shit about me. Like, I did notice that Krusty Panties took down all of her tweets calling me a rapist. Did you guys notice that? I noticed that. And they're all gone. And she knows why. Because you can't just call people rapists. You can't just go around and throwing that word around. That's what's called libelous when you do that. Now, there's other people who still have those tweets up. Lots of them, maybe hundreds of them, with tweets just like that. And we are keeping a list, and they should look in the mailbox soon, because something's coming for them, because we're not playing around anymore. And I don't, the general rule of thumb is, you don't sue somebody. It's not worth your time to sue someone if they don't have money, right? Because you win, and then what? Then they don't pay you, so what? I don't give a fuck. I'm ready to throw money away on this one, just to prove a point, just to say, you can't lie on me like that. You cannot do that. I'm not going to stand for it. I will not stand for that. So, if you want to do that, and just understand that when you get sued for defamation, you get deposed. There's no way out of that. There's no Fifth Amendment rights. And we get deposed if you have ongoing criminal charges involving me, right? All of that becomes usable in my criminal case too. So just understand that. I'm not the kind of guy that you get to just fuck over, that you just get to lie about, that you get to make shit up about, spread horrible things about. It's all fun and games. You're tweeting away on Twitter. I'm going to fucking call him a rapist. I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. No, that shit's real cute. That shit's real cute until it isn't. Until you get that letter in the mail. Then that shit's not cute anymore. And we'll see. People, if they want to represent themselves, they can do that. Or you can go get a lawyer. Whatever you want to do. That shit's not going to be so cute then. So we'll see. Because there will be justice. There will be justice. So just understand that. Anyway, back to the turtle chats. $10 from NDF says, I've been with you since the first article on the Reed case and amazed at all you've done. I just noticed that one of your biggest YouTube crime shows, Crime Weekly, is finally doing this case. Yes, somebody sent that to me. Stephanie Harlow has a huge following, and her counterpart, Derek Lavassier, is a detective from Massachusetts who's well known and has his own detective show on TV and One Big Brother. Part 1 was released today. Well, I'll have to go check that out. It's called Crime Weekly on YouTube. We'll have to check that out. All right, cool. Thank you. Melanie Jacqua sends $10 and goes, Dr. Kearney, hi. It's Dark Susie, a.k.a. Melanie. I love you a long time. Behind Criminal Minds is going to do a video about Karen. He is a real as fuck and gives views in the millions. I sent you a link. Sorry if I'm being annoying. Not at all, Melanie. I appreciate that very much. Boiling Bunny is on the golf, sends $10 and says, Unc, much respect for the high road you've taken, but please don't abide recent events. Don't abide. Naples PD can investigate too. Okay, don't know what that means. Congrats on a successful fundraiser. Keep up the great work. Free Karen Reed, free Turtle Boy. Well, thank you, Boiling Bunnies on the golf. Not sure what you meant there, but no, there were like these idiots are like, oh, he called the police on Sean. They didn't do anything of the sort. They just make shit up. The fuck am I going to call the police on Sean the golf for? Yeah, technically he committed witness intimidation because he lied in a police report and he intentionally tried to obstruct. I get that. I get all that, but at the same time, he's not worth my time. I don't really give a fuck about Sean of the Golf, like at all. So anyway, thank you for that one. Let's see. Anonymous Support sends $10 goes, please read on the next live. Shout out to the upcoming creator and young turtle rider, Alexa at Alexa's REWM on YouTube. We are just people with opinions donating 10% of the grift to Turtle Boy Legal and 10% to Karen Reed Legal. Check it out and message. Okay. Thank you very much. So that's let me read some Cash Apps. I'm also available on Cash App at $ Uncle Turtle Boy. We have here, let's see. First one is ADM sends $5 and says, these new vibes are immaculate. Keep swimming, Turtle Boy. Okay. Thank you very much, ADM. Melinda sends $5 and goes, keep up the great work. Shout out to Ethan, free Karen Reed. Shout out Ethan. Thank you. Chad sends $5 and says, Erica needs a sense of humor. Okay. Well, I like Erica, so thank you very much, Chad. And I think she has a fine sense of humor. Robin sends $10 and says, hey, Doc, what's in your cups? Stay hydrated. We got some iced coffee here. And then we got the Stanley water. I say Stanley water because water tastes differently in a Stanley. It's just the greatest water in the world. You throw like a few ice cubes in there and, you throw tap water in there. It doesn't matter. It's going to taste and you have to have a straw too. It tastes so much better out of a straw. It's going to taste a 40 ounce or two. It can't be like a 20 ounce or 30 ounce. It's got to be a 40 ouncer. And it's just immaculate. Like I've drinking water from a glacier before. I went to Alaska once. We took a helicopter to a glacier and there's like pools of water that form on glaciers. And they're like, you got to taste the water. It's like the best water you've ever had. And it was the best water I've ever had. The Alaska glacier water until I had Stanley water. So there's that. It's like the best. But anyway, cool. So thank you very much for that. Okay. Let's see. That's from Robin. Let's see. Katrina sends $10 and goes, thank you, Daddy, for your badass attitude. Love you. My pleasure, Katrina. I appreciate that. Stacy sends 50 big ones and goes, loved seeing a real gathering of friends, free Karen Reed and free Turtle Boy. Yes, we're going to get to that for sure. Thank you, Stacy. LG's Crusty Panties. Stop it. Sends $5 and goes, give us McDonough. Give us McDonough. You know what? I wasn't going to do this, but, so my guy Voos, who I got to meet last night, he's the guy that made the Bang Bang videos that we had. And he's got a McDonough one coming. Now, I don't have the whole thing yet. We haven't been able to turn it into a video, but I think, should I give you guys a little preview of it? Because it's good. We got a new intro song coming up, and I think I should share it. I really think I should. Let's play it.
call this bang bang.
Listen.
Seriously?
Oh, here we go. Fucking McDonough. Give us. Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough.
Get fucked. Okay.
Fucking McDonough. Give us. Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough.
Objection.
All right, so that's just a preview. The full one's like 2 minutes long, and I don't want to share it all until like we can put a video up because we got to do the video with the two for the intro. Give us fucking McDonough. That was too funny, man. That was too good. Okay. All right. So thank you for that turtle chat there. Let's see. We had Fat McAlberts sends $10. It goes Big HD from Leicester here. Keep on trucking, bro. Thank you, Big HD. Appreciate that. And shout out to the table full of people sitting next to us at the Lincoln tonight that introduced themselves. They always appreciate that. Always nice to meet turtle riders out in the wild. Appreciate that. Lauren sends $5 and goes, because fuck these downloads. Free Karen Reed. I know, right? They're killing me with those. But anyway, let me just check the turtle chats. Got a few more. Man, we got a few more turtle chats, and then we'll get started with the content, I promise. Paul's Balls sends $5 and goes, well, Matt Valentinas didn't block me, and I follow you. Does that mean he picked and chose who to block? Yeah, that's even worse. It means he actually went through there and manually blocked you. So thank you, Paul's Balls. And if you've never responded to him, then it kind of defeats the purpose because on Elon's new Twitter, you can see people who have blocked you. You just can't respond to them. So I don't understand the purpose of that. If they're not, I can understand blocking people who are regularly annoying the fuck out of you, but I don't understand blocking people who have never responded to you because they can still see your shit. So what's the point? You know what I mean? So thank you. Semolina sends $20 and says, would you ever consider suing silly Julie Carpenter for her BS on Twitter? I'd throw so much money at that legal fund. She's not on our list. She's not relevant enough, I guess. She's just kind of some crazy ginger from Indiana who don't really care about that much. Not that I care that much about the other people, but if I can't, I don't know if there's anything specifically defamatory she said about me. I'm sure there's some shit in there, but I don't know if she's ever gone out and just called me a rapist. Like that's the big no. You can't do that because I didn't rape anyone, and I've never been accused of it. Never been, and I was not like it never happened. Like keep in mind, this individual, there's no statute of limitations on rape. If I allegedly raped this person and they claim that there's evidence of it, there's literally nothing, because this is the excuse they use. Well, she went to the police and made this allegation, and then she told them she didn't want to press charges. And now she's publicly saying, no, he raped, because we got the police report. She started saying, he raped me. And then we went and got the police report. And it says in the police report, Haley has published it, that there's a fucking video. I mean, how often is there a fucking video of it? Like, that's the crazier part, too. There's a goddamn video of it. So like if it's on, like usually rape is a touchy subject because there's a he said, she said element to it. And it's like, oh, he said, oh, I didn't rape it, you know, whatever. Okay. And it's like, oh, I don't know who's telling the truth here. I don't want to be insensitive to her, but he's got rights too. And I don't, you know what I mean? Where now it's like, there's a fucking video, like submitted into evidence by her. And she made the cops watch the video. They watched they saw me like, whoa, I didn't approve of that. And so the cop writes this in a report. He's like taking notes on it, giving a play-by-play about what's happening. And then at the end, he's like, this is all consensual. Nobody was unconscious for this. Like what? There's nothing going on here. And the last sentence she says, well, I didn't want to pursue charges. Like she said, the woman says she didn't, fake victim, says she doesn't want to pursue anything involving this. And then they point to that and like, see, police wanted to, but she said she didn't want to. Bro, did you read the paragraph above it where she showed the cops a video and the cops like, you know what I mean? Like standing, like, give me a break. Come on. It goes completely against everything she claimed. Completely against it. It's like, you're lucky for that. Like, there's a goddamn video that she submitted to evidence. Like, but that's fucking crazy. But anyway, that's why you can't stand for it. Like, that's the one that's like, there's no, like, you say whatever you want about me. He's a shitty person. He's an asshole. He uses foul language. He's rude. He's a grifter, whatever you want to say, anything like that. That can be construed as opinion, that stuff. But rape? No, that's open and shut. Either you are or you're not. And I ain't. And I've never been accused of it. And she, by the way, this incident she claims was like October 15th of last year. And then didn't even tell police this until police called her in for questioning because she put a camera up without telling me. And the whole thing was on like video and didn't never told me about it. It's wiretapping when you do that. You can't do that. And so she got called in for questioning about that. And then she's like, hey, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, just to get out of it. Like it was like as if that would save her from that. And that's not over yet either. So, yeah, she got called in about that and then says, oh, blah, blah, blah. He did this, he did that. And then, went nowhere, obviously. The cops were like, nothing we could do here. And then so she starts posting about it online. She's going to smear my reputation. She's going to go that route instead. So, anyway. All this shit means nothing. And I'd like to point out that like even during like the January 8th restraining order hearing, none of this shit was ever mentioned ever. So fuck it. I'm not going to sit here and be called shit that I'm not. Ain't going to happen. All right. Next up, Plevin's mom. All right. Plevin's mom sends $10 and says, dearest Dr. Daddy, I regret to inform you that I learned over the weekend that my own sister hates you. I told her I thought you were a delight. What? Wait, why would your sister hate me? What does she know anyways? Bitch, keep it classy, San Diego. Much love to you. Oh, I'm sorry. You need a better... Oh, my older sister, Plevin's mom. Okay. All right. Well, you need a better sister, so thank you very much. Sacco and Vanzetti Arundel, like Suzanne. Taking Norfolk County down lower than Krusty's morals. That's pretty low, that's pretty low. So there's that. So thank you very much. Brittany sends $8 and goes, since trolls are trying to report your website, is there any way to prove that you did not create the Pornhub Twitter account? You can't prove a negative. You can go through my phone. That's a good point. They have my phone, right? So you can go through it and see if I don't know. It was made in December though, after they took my phone, but I don't know. I think Twitter probably keeps track of that shit. Like I've got receipts of me finding out about that, and I've posted some of the receipts online. I can show you. So anyway, I'm convinced she posted it. I'm convinced she made that shit up. That is right up her alley. Right up her alley. But it definitely wasn't me. So I'm convinced it was her. She says either in LG phone or by subpoena to Twitter is Karen or her team concerned that the group chat will be misconstrued by the Commonwealth. So I don't speak for Karen or her team about that group chat that they're all obsessed with. But again, you might have seen the group chat going around and put out there by this skag named Amy DeAngelis, this bitter little, sad person. And she thinks she's getting me by putting out this group chat. And, they're claiming that this is evidence that Karen Reed and I conspired to commit witness intimidation against the innocent witnesses like Jennifer McCabe and stuff in this case. If you look at the messages, at no point in any of those messages do I ever say Karen Reed directed me to do anything. You know why I didn't say that? Because she didn't. She never did. That's just a fact. She never made me do it. And there's no evidence that she did. If it's me venting, I was complaining about Karen Reed, and her and I have had this discussion about it. Of course, I have to alert her this, that like you're going to see me saying bad things about you. Like I'm doing this. And we've had this discussion before. And I said, I was pissed at you at the time. I felt slighted and I vented into a few other people. Right. And, it is what it is. They say you shouldn't say this shit in group chats. I'm like, I vented. It is what it is. It means fucking nothing. It means absolutely nothing. She didn't tell me to do anything. She doesn't get to tell me to do anything. I do whatever the fuck I want to do. And I don't take directions from anyone at all. So Yeah, like the mass and gas mafia. I'm still laughing about that, James Jackson. I'm still laughing about that. When do I get to come on your show? That's what I want to know. When do I get the invite to the JFK show? I feel left out. So thank you very much for that. All right. Kathleen says, enjoy your turkey dinner and banana bread Thursday for $25. Okay, Kathleen, go fuck yourself. All right. Because I know what you're doing there. I hate that shit. And I hate Thanksgiving. All I want for Thanksgiving is buffalo chicken dip with a bunch of bread. And it sounds like really bad for you, but I don't give a shit. I don't like turkey. I don't like, I mean, mashed potatoes are okay. I guess if you throw some shit in there, they're all right. Cranberry sauce should be outlawed. Like, it's fucking disgusting how anyone could even consider putting that in their mouth and then swallowing it. I wouldn't eat it in jail, and I ate everything in jail except for the meatloaf and the bananas. I will not eat bananas. I will not eat banana bread. Banana is another thing that should be outlawed. Bananas are not real fruit. Fruit is supposed to be sweet or sour. One of those two. Bananas are neither. Bananas are disgusting and should be illegal. So there's that. Thank you very much, Kathleen. Diane sends $10, goes, M.William Phelps taking the true out of true crime. You got that right, Diane. Thank you. And Penny sends $10 and goes, I loved seeing you all last night. Amazing. Yes, us too. We'll talk about that. Janice sends $10. She says, don't read this out loud. Hashtag just kidding. We love you. Thank you for all you do. No matter what happens, this is all you, kid. Free Turtle Boy, free Karen Reed, free the Closet Baby, and free Auntie Bev's objections. Yeah, you know, it's not all me. I got it started. Let's be honest. I started the whole free Karen Reed movement. Wasn't my plan. But you know, if I went to jail and it kept going, right? So clearly it's a lot bigger than me, you know? So thank you very much, Janice. All right. All right, cool. If anyone else wants their messages read, you can click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, and we can do it that way. Or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtle Boy and write whatever message you want, and I will read it out loud to the class. Okay. All right. Let's talk about last night a little, shall we? All right. So you guys, if anybody has videos of last night too, feel free to send them. So first, let me say this. So I didn't announce that this whole thing was happening. So if you missed it last night, there was a fundraiser for Karen Reed at this country club in Fall River, and it was organized by her cousin, Kelly Reed, who's a pretty vocal person on the, the justice page, goes to all the hearings. A lot of you know Kelly is great lady. And it was at this country club, and, I got the invite, and, it was a fundraiser. Raised many $1,000s yesterday for that, and which is a good thing because it's not cheap defending yourself from fraudulent murder charges, unfortunately, especially when the state seems so determined to never relent in their proofs, in their desire to lynch you, because that's what they're trying to do to Karen Reed. They're trying to lynch her. So we were all, I had no idea who was going to be there. I knew there would be some other content creators. And by content creators, I mean like YouTube people, or some TikToks, if you will. So I knew there would be some people there, and I knew probably 15% of the room. I would say, I would say 85% of the people there were Karen Reed's friends and family. So I met a lot of them, but friends and family, stuff like I met a lot, shook a lot of hands and heard a lot of backstories. Don't remember most of them, but had some good conversations with people there. So I want to start off by saying that I knew this would happen, that I'm like, oh man, people are going to post pictures and some people are going to feel left out. And let me just say that I totally empathize with that. I get it. And because a lot of people who have contributed a lot, what we call the boots on the ground people, you know what I mean? People that come to the protests, people that do a lot of shit. Like some of them weren't, and I noticed, oh my God, this person's not here. I'm not even saying names, but I'm like, this person's not here, this person's not here. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. You know what I mean? That sucks, because I've been there in that position before. As you know, with the court thing, like I'm venting about it in the freaking messages in the group chat that have now become public, right? So I get it. I get why people might feel left out. But everybody just understand that, like, the people that were invited that were not family, friends or whatever of the Reeds were what I've seen are the content people. Like the Las Vegas cop guys flew in there, right? And like BLT was there, and Will the Glare flew in, and Nurse Kim was there, and Dana and Tracy from Resistance to Silence and Paul Cristoforo was there, and some people had dates. So like that's like a +1 almost, you know what I mean? So if you saw people there, and if you're like, well, I've come to more shit than this person, it's not personal. You know what I mean? It's like the people that Kelly seemed to invite were the for the most part, people that are on YouTube. And one of the people I was happiest to see there was Tom CPU. I love Tom CPU, right? Tom, and I understand Tom CPU is like some people like not everyone cup of tea. I don't give a shit. I love that motherfucker, right? He comes to everything. That guy is at like every single, any court hearing he's there. Any court hearing. I know, like, I get people, not everyone's cup of tea. I like him. Okay. You know why I like Tom? Because he's supportive of the cause and the movement. All right. And he comes to every single hearing for me and for Karen and for the Duck people and others. Like, he's always there, the Can't Nine, and he's covering it. Right. And so he's documenting history. Right. So like, I love the fact that he was there. I could go on and on about all the people that were there, but I just want to say to the people who weren't there, right, and felt like slighted by that, I just want to say that, like, I understand, okay? I think that your feelings are valid, right? That you are valued and you are important and whatever, but it's just they couldn't fit a single more person in there. Like, let's just put it that way. There was literally nowhere else to sit. They could fit no more than 200 people in there, and it was packed. It wasn't that big of a place. Okay. So, but just know that we still love everybody, and it's not about that. It's not about that. So, and when this is all said and done, man, we're all going to have a great time. Like, you're going to be there and I gave a speech last night, and I said, I just can't. I told the Reed family this. I said, look, if you have ever had a down day, which I'm sure you've had many, because you're being charged with murder, and it seems like the state just keeps piling on and on and on, and like they never relent. You get this Google search thing, right, showing that Jennifer McCabe Googled how long to die in cold, and Carol Reed, when they first found out about that, they must have been thinking like, hallelujah, it's finally over. There's no way they can continue with this anymore. Right? Like, they can't. There's no way they can continue. And then they're just like, no, we're just going to. They announced days afterwards, David Traub announced that we're going to have an expert who can say this never happened. We're going to have an expert how did they know that? They didn't have an expert. They took 6 months to find Jessica Hyde and like 9 months to find Ian Whiffen. How did they know that they were going to find somebody to do that? But they just knew, because they know the answers before the questions are asked, right? And so I said to them that they're like, that day when the Google search was just like, no, well, that doesn't matter. That day must have been a tough day, right? Because it's like, fuck, we got to keep fighting this. Then we got to, and luckily we were there by then, and we had our back, whatever. But like, it's got to be hard to keep moving and keep going and waking up every day with that hanging over your head. So I said, if you ever get down on yourself, right? If you ever like are depressed, which is a totally normal feeling, I think, to have when you're being wrongly charged with murder. If you ever have that feeling, just think about the day, which will come, in which you're inside that courtroom and you hear the words, not guilty. Okay. Because the last time there was a mistrial, and the mistrial caused the crowd outside to explode. Like you could hear it inside the courtroom when they declared a mistrial, and people went nuts for a stalemate, kind of. You know what I mean? For a draw. Like the crowd went wild for that. Think of how wild they're going to be when you have that not guilty read in the courtroom. Just think about that. And I want, if the Reed family's ever down like that, and all you people too, if you ever, and that, because we're all emotionally invested in this, right? If you ever have one of those days where you're like, this is so much, I can't believe that this level of evil exists, these people won't stop, just remind yourself that there will be a not guilty. That is going to happen, okay? That it will happen. Even I get down on it a little bit, like sometimes where I'm like, one of the hardest things for me to accept is that even though the jury voted 12-0 to acquit her of murder and leaving the scene of an accident, they were split on manslaughter, which means half of them, 6, and then there's the bullying that went on afterwards, but 6 initially said not guilty on manslaughter, which means that 6 thought that he was hit by a car, okay? And that's hard for me to stomach, that like, wow, they really successfully got 6 idiots, right, to think that science just doesn't matter anymore. That like scientists, Isaac Newton was paid off by the defense. Like the defense conspired with the FBI, something called Turtle Boy, and Sir Isaac Newton to frame poor Michael Morrissey and the McAlberts. Like that, 6 people reached that conclusion. So that's hard for me to accept, right? And to grapple with. Like, I can't believe that fucking happened. But just understand that that's the best they got. And I told Mark Better this, that I'm like, you know, like that's the only part that worries me, is that in the last trial, I didn't think it was possible to convince anyone that she did this, but it clearly it's not. So that the human part of it scares me. But as he, pointed out, he's like, there's no way that will ever happen in the second time around. Now you've given her lawyers, who are some of the best in the world, like a whole first trial of testimony and other things that they didn't have before that they can now use in the second trial. They can learn from their mistakes. They can learn from these jurors because they are speaking with other jurors. They're knowing what worked and what didn't work, etc. And so you're giving them nothing but opportunity now to do better in the next round, aren't you? And it can't get any worse than that. Like, that was the best that they can get. They will never convict Karen Reed. They will never convict her. You will never find 12 unanimous people. And that's another thing. Like, they know the kind of jurors to pick now, right? Like, you're giving really smart people a second bite at the apple. And the really dumb people, the incompetent ones, are like, look at what they're doing. Look at their strategy. Just look at what their plan is here. What are they planning on doing? They're like, okay, so we didn't get a conviction in round 1. What do we got scheduled for the second round? Oh, I have an idea. Let's call her parents up here and maybe her brother too. I mean, let's get their cell phone records. Oh, she's toast now. Oh, no. Even though they have her phone records, so they would know if she called them. And even if they get those, that's what they're hoping for? Is that? Like, that's what they're hoping for, is that? You know what they still don't have? A crash reconstructionist that can explain why the ARCA guys are wrong. Can they do that? Because until they do that, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a real big problem for them moving forward. Are they going to get somebody to say that those aren't dog bites? Because the dog DNA on the clothes, that's not cutting it. The dog DNA in the clothes, it was sent by a swab. That's what they testified. They swabbed it, and they sent it. How the fuck do the person in the lab know what the hell they swabbed? Michael Proctor could have swabbed his asshole with it, and he probably did, for all we know. We don't know. We can't trust these motherfuckers. But you know what they always forget? They never bring this up. What disappeared from evidence? Oh, right. The DNA from his arm. The arm samples from his actual arm are gone. They just disappeared. So they have the swab that they claim is from the clothing, but they don't have his DNA, his actual arm samples. They're just gone. And so that, like, how are they going to prove that if there's any doubt that a dog might have bitten him, which common sense, you look at that like a dog fucking did that, right? And they're going to have more than Dr. Marie Russell this second time around. You know that. They're going to be much better this time around, the defense. They will call many more. They only brought 6 witnesses because they thought they had it in the bag. They thought it was over. But now they know they got to bring it all. And they're going to bring it all. And it's going to be awesome. So just know that. So if you're having a bad day like that, just think about that day. Think about, like, when the second they say not guilty, the streets of Dedham are going to explode. Okay? All the buffer zone's in place next time. The buffer zone, I assume, officially ends when you hear the words not guilty because the trial's over. And a huge mob is going to come into outside the courthouse. And then I'm going to walk out the door. And the crowd's going to be there, and that's going to be like the warm up. You know what I mean? That's going to be like I'm the opening act of this whole thing, because I'm not walking out with the Reed defense team. And then they're going to walk out those doors. And for the last time, that is the last time the Reed family has spent so many hours in that godforsaken old courthouse and walked in and out of those doors so many times. And they're going to walk out of those doors for the last time. That will happen someday. This cannot go on forever, as entertaining as this is. It cannot go on forever. There will be an end to this. So just think about that, because the fight is what's going to make the victory at the end even sweeter, right? When you really earn something, when you really got to work for something, that makes it so much sweeter. And there is a God, and he would never allow this to happen. It's not going to happen. And Karen Reed spoke last night, and one of the things that's impressive about her is that she has internalized already what it would be like if she was convicted. She's not one of these people. A lot of these, like the Menendez brothers, when they play, like those guys never thought about being convicted. They're just like, they're too arrogant, right? Karen Reed has done all the scenarios in her head. And one of those scenarios is conviction, right? However unlikely it may be. So she's ready for it mentally. And the fight would not end with the conviction. Because people ask me, what would you do if she was convicted? I would keep fighting, because it would be an injustice. People have been wrongly convicted before. That's what I would do. So, yeah. Jen says she texted me some of her speech. I can't play it if you text, so you got to send it on Facebook Messenger. So if you have any messages, send them on Facebook Messenger. Of any videos you want me to play, send them on Facebook Messenger, and I can play them that way. So yes, Karen did speak last night. And so how it worked is there's this comedian there who was hilarious. You know, a lot of good bits. He got a little raunchy. And what else? So I don't know how so the Reed family started speaking, and like, I got a couple of videos of them speaking here. Play some. Oh, here she is speaking, actually.
Did or were to happen to me.
If something were to happen,
I would
wait.
Know that this fight continues because of all of you, and I get more strength from you than you did.
So this is her talking about if she was convicted. I started filming this. All right, ready?
Were to happen to me, I would know that this fight continues because of all of you, and I get more strength from you than you possibly could get from me. And one of the worst losses, other than the physical losses of this nightmare, has been the loss of my reputation. And I feel like I have it back in spades because of the people in this room that embrace me despite hearing horrible things, untrue and embarrassing things about me that were.
Yeah, like Higgins. I mean, that's got to be tough. You know what I mean? Having all that shit come out of nowhere. The Higgins texts were some of the most painful. That all had to, and the voicemails to John, angry voicemails, like, it's embarrassing, you know, shit like that. None of that proves murder for sure or anything like that, but it is embarrassing. So they did succeed in that.
Never meant to see the light of day. and you don't care. And I love all of you and your generosity, and the Roccos, Nick and Jenna. Who spearhead the fundraising and the generosity of my friends that I've known forever, and I love everyone in this room, and you keep me going, and I feel like this is my purpose, and it's more important than anything I did in my prior life, and I'm not the first person this has happened to. It happens to people in this state, in these counties in this state every day, and they are not fortunate enough to even post bail in many cases, or to have the legal help, or the media help that I have, or the family possibly that I have. So although I've been very unlucky, I feel like the most fortunate person in the world, and that is in no small part due to the people in this room. And I thank you, and I love you for it. And I will be as strong for as long as it takes. We're seeing this through to the absolute end.
We got you, Karen.
See what I mean? It's packed. All right, so they got another video here. Let's see. And that's another, oh, that's a good point. No, that's, Writes on here says, I bet Karen starts an organization for innocent people after this. I've actually had discussions with her about this. Like, that is what she wants to do. She's told me, she's like, she's told me that she's just blown away by all the support and is so humbled by it, because if this was happening to someone who wasn't her, she's like, I got to be honest, I probably wouldn't be out there, with them, because you don't know what it's like until it happens to you, that it's forever changed her. That, like, when this ends, like, this is what like before she was a financial whatever at Fidelity, and there's always going to be a before and an after, and before you were this, and then after you're this, and this is going to be her thing when she moves forward, is working to exonerate, because there's a lot of innocent people in jail, right? She's not the only one. Well, she's not in jail, but like there's a lot of, she's most of them don't have huge movements like this behind them. She's very fortunate for that. So here's another video. And yes, Better was theirs. And in rare form, might I add.
Especially the women. And I understand why. All of the days in court, I walked through the lines and have cheered my family on and my daughter. And I know for many women who personally have felt marginalized in some way in their lives, dehumanized, objectified, that you're seeing Karen Reed, that beacon of fight, of hope, and she gets it from you too. And so I don't mean to disparage the gentleman at all. We need you, we need all of you, but for you women, you're just incredible. And a few words of thank you to my dear cousin Kelly. Jimmy, her sister.
Young Jelly.
Cousin Debbie.
The LV cops, Mazda Media in the house.
All who volunteered. If you will indulge me, I'd like to ask a few people to stand up, because their presence in this fight.
And that was me. That's why I am always about to call me. So yeah, I did. I don't know if I obviously didn't tape myself giving a speech. I did not know he was gonna do that. He did. He did. I went up there and I gave it was impromptu. I had an impromptu speech. I think I had two of them. Like the first time was when he started doing this, and he's like, wanted to thank, and he called me up by name. And so I went up there and said some remarks. And then the second time it was just awkward because the mic was just sitting there, and then it's like, what do we do now? And so I see an open mic, I just take it. And then I started riffing and doing all that. I don't know if anyone has a video. Oh, wait, somebody has it. Hold on. It's short. Let's see. Is this it? I'm just a guest tonight. I couldn't be more honored to be here. Like I said earlier, I'm in awe of the Reed family. I don't know how the hell they do it, but I had yeah. They just handed me the mic, but no, that's not the. I don't know if anybody's got like a whole video of it. Somebody must have one. Let me check out the Justice page. Go to the Justice page. And by the way, shout out to Dedham today, to the boots on the ground, as we call them. Look at all these people in Dedham today. Look at this shit. Yes, I did get through taxi suit. Good. The young jerks have it. I knew it was coming.
I'm pretty sure you might get one or two good ones. There's no Ryan team.
We're always fine people. A lot of them were there last night. You know, like this is what I mean. But like, I wish it was like all these people are great, and I'll never forget any of these people for being a part of this. You know, and so thank you guys. Thank everybody for doing this. So yeah, nice crowd there. Great crowd. Love to see it. And let's see. And yes, I did get Bukkake shoes. I really always liked them. I'm not gonna lie, I always liked them. And those guys kind of ruined it for me, the fact that they all wear the Bukkake shoes. But you know, I have a stylist now, right? Catherine McDonough, she's great. And she messaged me like right after I got arrested and was like, "You're gonna be on TV a lot. You can't be wearing your the Turtle Boy tie. Like you can't be wearing the baggy suit from like 2009. Like it's out of style. You know, you gotta tighter's in now. You know, slim fits. That's what you know. So she's like, just give me your credit card, and you know, I usually, you know, this is what she does for work. It's for free. Just obviously you pay for your own goddamn clothes. This isn't you know, a Twisted Tragedies giveaway here. Okay. So you're gonna have to pay for your own shit, but I will do it for you because I don't know how to get dressed. I don't know how to, like, I'm not stylish at all. I don't know anything. So I just have somebody else dress me, you know? And I'm like, I pulled the trigger on the Bukkake shoes. I'm like, I put them on for the first time and I'm like, I get it because they look business, but they feel like sneakers. You know what I mean? So it feels good wearing them. Like I got why these guys wear those shoes. They're nice shoes. So I did wear the Bukkake shoes. And yes, Chili's too. So Meredith made a post about this the other day about how I said that like Chili's is better than the Capitol Grill, and it's not even close. And again, nothing against the Capitol Grill. Great people. Love the owners of Capitol Grill, especially in Dedham. But it's just a fact. Like it's no doubt about it. It's better. And if you disagree with me, you're fucking crazy. Like steak is the most overrated food. Steak's fine. I'll eat steak. It's tasty. You know, it has some flavor to it, some zest, whatever. It ain't worth $80. No food's worth $80. None. Nothing. Like, have you ever tried the chips and salsa at Chili's? They're bottomless, first of all. You can just keep getting as many as you want because it will go fast because it's fucking the best salsa I've ever eaten in my life. And there's this fancy Mexican joint down the street here in Southie. It's fun. It's good. It's nice. Been there a few times, right? It's not as good as chili salsa, chips and salsa. Nothing's as good as that. Literally nothing. You'll never have any chips and salsa that taste that good. And you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I'll just order it because it's actually cheaper to buy it that way than go to the store and get a whole thing of salsa. You just order a thing of chips and salsa from Chili's. Or, the buffalo chicken sandwiches there, the chicken bacon ranch quesadillas, like it's unbelievable. And so, yeah, like it's people will say, oh, it's cheaper. Like, oh, it's Capital. You think Capital Grill is better because it costs more money and it's steak and all this shit. It's like, but it's not. It's all in your head. It's all fake. If you were starving and you had two choices, you would pick fucking Chili's because it's just better. Period. And it's better than all the other chain ones too. It's better than Applebee's, the 99 Restaurant, whatever. Chili's is the fucking greatest. And Michael Scott loves it too. There's a whole episode of The Office where he takes Tim Robbins to Chili's and he gets the deal done. You know what I mean? And then Jan wants to bang him after that. So great things happen at Chili's. Anyway, all right. So anyway, where was I? Oh, back to this. Let's play this speech. All right. Is this it?
Trained to protect each other. They're and I watched that happen. I watched that trial happen. And I'm like, it scared the shit out of me watching how dedicated these people are to the lie. And I get scared sometimes, in my situation, I'll be honest with you, but like with hers, it's 1,000,000 times amplified. So like Alan Jackson said, like God chose Karen Reed, right, to be in this situation because only she is strong enough to handle this and to fight back, never gives up. This is her fault. People are like, who's Karen Reed? This is what she does. She wakes up every day and focuses not only on her freedom, but in exposing this corrupt institution. And like I said earlier, you're going to hear those two words, not guilty. It's going to happen, but that's not nearly enough, right? And it's because her brilliant legal team, right, marshaled every resource possible and worked with the federal government that they are going to take these people down. That's when it's really done. That's when we really have justice, not only for Karen, but also for John. And they always say that, oh, you guys you forgotten John. We haven't forgotten John at all. God damn it, we're the only ones that haven't forgotten John O'Keefe. We're the only ones that haven't forgotten John O'Keefe because there will never, ever be justice for John O'Keefe without justice for Karen Reed first. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So, like I said, I see so many fantastic people out here tonight. The Roccos have done a big job. They've done so much for Karen, raising so much money for her, volunteering their time, running these fundraisers. It's just been great because she couldn't do it without the money. The money matters because they are throwing everything at you. So this event tonight is really important. So events like this, as far as raising money for her legal defense, because Rick Green doesn't come up here for free, right? And all these other experts, they're going to have to fly somebody to Houston to babysit Man Shannon now as he figures out the difference between a big and a fight. Right? That's going to cost them a pretty penny. So nights like tonight are really important for doing that because justice, it's not free. It's not free. It costs money. So thank you guys, everybody, for being here, and thank you for the weekend. Fight on! Good luck, people. Let's be real. It wasn't for him. None of the people here today. Myself included. I remember specifically on that day, I was sitting on my couch and he brought up the story of Karen Reed. It intrigued me. As far as Jimmy Cave went, Proctor, and everybody else who was. Turtle Boy was the one who brought all of this to us. And everybody in the room, there's a lot of familiar faces, a lot of people.
This is great, man. Love to see the unity. And they say that it was so great to see this week because they've tried to push this narrative all week that, like, oh, Karen is mad at Turtle Boy and the Roccos, there's dissent in the ranks and all this shit. And like last night just proved it wrong. It just proved it all wrong because we were all in a room together and we were all there for one common goal, united for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed. And we're never going to stop. and they've tried their best to stop us, and it's just not happening. You know, square peg, round hole. It's not happening. All right. And what is this? Oh, hold on. I got another one here. I got bits and pieces of my speech. Oh, I think it's the one we're talking about my daughter. Hold on. Oh, I don't know why it's sideways. Hold on. Edit. Can I rotate left? Nope. How about rotate? How about flip horizontal? Nope. How about flip vertical? Nope. How about rotate right? Nope. Okay, now how about flip vertical? There it is. We got it. Okay, cool. All right.
Just almost like brings tears to my eyes every time because I look at my daughter. Almost like brings tears to my eyes every time because I look at my daughter that I'm like, at one point, Karen Reed was this age and her daughter, his dad looked at her like this. And what if this happened to her? How would I handle it? And I would hope that I would have the grace and the to handle it in the professional manner that Bill Reed has. I don't know how the hell you guys hold it all together. Everything you guys are doing, all of the shit that you guys do.
So yeah, it's true though. And I do, like, I shared this post on Twitter today. I'm gonna share this with you guys. A little sentimental, but oh, we're still getting some of the Trump Twitter followers back that I lost that night. Let's see. Yeah. So it's like, so I look at this picture here, and this is from her Facebook page, and that's her dad and Karen Reed when she's probably like, I don't know, what is she, 4 years older or something like that? Maybe younger, who knows? And it's like, that picture just gets to me, man, because like I said, I have a little daughter, you know, she's not really little anymore. That's first grade, I think. And that's like 1 year old, something like that. And, you know, I just see that in these pictures. It just reminds me of that, you know? And, you know, he probably his age there. Like, look how sporting and young he looks there, you know? And that's his baby, you know? That's his baby girl, right? That's like his, and you think about that and you're just like, imagine if that happened. Because the only difference between me and Bill Reed is luck, right? As a father, it's just pure luck. That's the only difference between us, is that I haven't had something like this happen to my kid, you know, because she didn't do this, and yet it's happened to her, and that affects him. And this isn't how he wants to live out his retirement, you know. And yet, but the way he fights for his daughter at his age, you know, is inspiring. And that's kind of the speech that I gave last night, is like, you just look at this picture here and you're like, no matter how old his daughter gets there, she's 44 years old now, grown ass woman. But this is what you always remember, you know? And it's like, no matter how much old my daughter gets, it's like, this is what I'm always going to remember. Always, you know, they will always be that person to you, no matter how old they get. And because that's all you'll see them as. Like, they don't see, when we see Karen Reed on TV, we see 44-year-old Karen Reed. This is what he sees. You know, this is what he sees on TV. And so that's what's so inspiring about him, is that he just keeps fighting and just never, ever, ever gives up for his girl, and is not going to allow her to go to jail. It's just not going to happen. And so they fight on as a family. And I thought that's kind of my impromptu speech that I gave on the fly last night was about that. So I also have here, Auntie Deb was there. And Auntie Deb, you guys want to watch? The Auntie Deb skit was a little bit raunchy. But I cracked up. Should I share it? Let's share it. Let's see. Actually, yeah. All right, here we go.
Smokers, hold on, kids, hold on.
Thank you. I'm not giving you any money. All right. Let me see. Who's here? Who's here? Listen, Kim? Kim? Where's Kim?
Where's Kim?
Where's Nurse Kim?
Who's there?
I heard you talking about my lipstick, you bitch. Close your legs or I'm shutting off the fans. Okay? We got all the YouTubers here. Look at the nice YouTubers. Melanie Little, Clara. Out of town. What won't they do for a free meal? Oh my God. And where's Turtle Boy? Where's he at?
Right there.
Turtle Boy, when are you gonna let me turn you into a turtle man? You don't answer my text? What am I, one of your dirty exes? Christ, come on. We'd never work out though, you know what I mean?
Soon.
Turtle, crab. You crack my shell into 1,000 pieces, I sprinkled it on a lawn frame, whatever. You know how it goes. You guys know how it goes. Did you guys enjoy the food? Yeah. Everyone have the stuffed pig? Oh no, that's Julie Nagel.
Where's Julie Nagel? They just came out of nowhere. Oh, Julie Nagel.
I've always wondered, how come we never checked one of her 5 stomachs for Chloe? That's why she's always eating peanut butter. Am I wrong? Huh? Am I freaking wrong? No, but I get it. This case is very confusing. I mean, you never know who's who, all kinds of different people. Took me 3 weeks before I realized they were talking about an actual snowblower, not Jill Daniels. Oh, geez, can I get the number to your guy? Christ almighty. I mean, no, but really, people, I mean, this case is friggin' wild. But if Brian Albert is Boston's finest and Julie Nagel is Boston Market, I'm moving to California. Friggin' nightmare. How about that Jen friggin' McCabe? The confidence of a school shooter and the dental work of a school mascot. Go for it.
Too funny.
What happened now?
Yeah, he goes on. He did a great job. Auntie Deb was killing it. So,
anyways,
yeah, you got this. I'll show you a couple more pics before we move on to the next thing here, right? Let's see. Yeah, I'll show you some pictures I took. So of who was there. I didn't get one with Bettero. He was enjoying his bourbons last night. Let's see. Mr. Reed and I there. Let's see. I posted some of these on Facebook. There's Melanie Little. Who else we have there? Oh, this is Meredith, of course. And this is Malika. She runs the Karen Reed is Innocent account. We had the Glarer. Karen. Mazza Media was there. Who else do we got? Oh, yeah, there they are. Nathan Reed was there looking dapper. Excellent. The Roccos. And, you know, again, the Roccos have done fantastic work. I want to, it was nice to reconnect with them yesterday. I'm not going to lie. So they've done fantastic work in raising so much money for Karen and just always having her back and never wanting anything in return. Like people have, even when I was not getting along with them, that was never a criticism that I have of them, that they were like, you know, stealing, like nothing like that, you know, like, because some have suggested that they've said like, oh, I remember when the 50-50 raffle happened at the Halloween event fundraiser for Karen in 2023. You know, they gave me my half of the 50-50 because the 50-50 was for me that night. And I'm like, you guys can keep like 5%. Like, it's like you earn this shit. I mean, you're spending a lot of time doing this, and they're just like, no, of course not. Like, and that goes for all these other people. Like, so many people have dedicated so much of their time to this, and they just don't want anything in return. Like, it's just amazing that, like, and some people find that hard to believe that other people could care so much about helping a stranger out And that's what's inspiring about this whole thing is that like all these people don't even really know Karen Reed or her family. And yet they're just doing it anyway because they just believe because they have a moral compass, you know. There's mass media. Paul Cristoforo was there. Richie, of course, from Microdots, killing it as usual. When is he not? All right. The LV Cop guys and BLT Sandwich there. Great to meet them. Tommy D and Scott McGinnis, another soldier on the front lines. Every single time he's out there with a sign, rain, shine, no matter what, he's there. You know, all the time. Young Jelly. This is hilarious. I actually kind of like that nickname. I hope he sticks with it. It's kind of badass. I know they did it. They tried to use it as like an insult, but I really like Young Jelly. With the dogs. There's Auntie Deb. There's Melanie. Excellent. Yeah, so it was just, there's Mark Betterow standing up, getting his applause. It was just a great night, man. A great night. And so awesome to see. So awesome to see. So I left there feeling great. Again, I wish everyone could have been there. And no matter if you're one of those people that felt slighted by that, I get it. That's a normal feeling to have. But just understand that, like, everybody is appreciated in all this. And the whole purpose was to raise money. And we did that. So there's that. Okay. Before we get into the next thing, let me read some turtle chats here. Just got to catch up here. Pigskin Flutes sends $10 and goes, what do the Pats and the McAlberts have in common? They're both fucking losers. Free Karen Reed, free Turtle Boy, free the Closet Baby, and free Auntie Bev's Mike. Yeah, you know, they made a joke about that last night about the Pats. I still fucking, every week I think they're going to win. No matter, because I'm a real fan. Like, every week I want them to win. I think they're going to win. I don't care how unrealistic it is. And that's what's cool about being a fan is like, no matter how bad you are, you're just like, we're going to fucking win today. I just know it. Like, it's going to all come together today. Like, the line is fucking like the offensive line is like, dude, bro, it's like the whole point of it. Without an offensive line, the team can't function. It's like the most important part almost after the quarterback. And we just don't, there's 5 of them and they all suck. Like it just got, I mean, Jalen Ramsey was like all over the place today. I forgot about Jalen Ramsey. He's still a thing. There's other guys like, who the fuck was that other guy causing havoc today on the defensive line? Reminds me of Cameron Wake days. Every time we used to play the Dolphins, Cameron Wake would just fucking be the greatest Reggie White out there. And Drake didn't do any. I mean, they had the one interception that wasn't really good, but like he was pretty. I like Drake. I believe in Drake. I think he's a good leader. Like he's tall. He looks like he's handsome. He looks like a quarterback. I believe in Drake May. I don't believe in this line, and that's a big problem. We're going to need some. I'm excited about drafting a tackle for the first time. Like usually when your team drafts an offensive lineman in the first round, you're like, fuck. Boring. You know, you want a playmaker. Now I'm like, I cannot wait to draft some left tackle I've never heard of before. Like, I don't know who that left tackle is from Iowa or Penn State, where the fuck, Boston, wherever they're from. Just whoever that guy is just welcome to the Patriots. And then you're going to be here for because they'll be here for like a decade. Like a left tackle is there for like a decade. And it's really hard to miss on an offensive lineman in like the first 10 picks. That's really hard to miss. You can miss on receivers. Don't draft a running back in the first 10 picks unless you're like the Falcons or somebody like that. It's stupid. Draft a defensive tackle, not offensive tackle in the first 10 picks. And the odds of missing on that are like slim to none. Just get a couple of them there. Not Cole Strange. Like, don't draft some guy that should have gone in the 3rd round and you think you're smarter than everyone else. Luckily, Belichick's gone. We don't have to deal with that shit anymore. So, yeah, I mean, I feel confident about every week. I think we're going to win. Now, it's good that we lost because the Titans won today and we're competing with them for a thing. And, you know, the Panthers have 3. So we're still in line. Like, you know what I mean? Every loss is a good thing. It's one step closer to a better pick because there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of 3-win teams in the NFL. So, you know, and then I see the Lions today. I know we have all our Michigan Turtle Riders out there. And what do the Lions do today? They fucking killed it like they do every week. That's all the Detroit Lions ever do anymore is just fucking kill it. Kill it. and they're going to the Super Bowl league, and they're going to win. They're going to win the Super Bowl. Be it the Bills or be it the Chiefs, whoever they play, they're going to win the Super Bowl. It's going to be fucking awesome. So go Lions. Yeah, you deserve it because you guys have been in the position we've been in right now, like since the beginning of time. And this is new for us. We haven't had this since the Hugh Millen days, if you will. Like it's been a minute. But anyway, back to the donos. Thank you. Allison sends $10 and goes, "It warms my heart to see the pictures and videos from the fundraiser, but not as much as the thought of the epic meltdown the other side must be having over it. The truth is on the Karen side, and they know it and can't stand to keep up the fight and free Karen. And I got to be honest with you, that was one of the most satisfying parts about it. And I'd be lying if it wasn't like one of the first things I thought of last night too. It was just like, I can't wait to see the meltdown over this. I cannot wait. And I went on, first thing I did when I woke up this morning with a strong headache, a bit of a hangover, go on Twitter and I just watch the meltdown. And I'm watching all because they can't hide it. They're just so mad about it. There was so much cope. Karen Reed, she's in person with her family and she's harassing with witness intimidators. And oh my God, they cleansed the pearls. And, yeah, she was, motherfucker. I bet that burned. I bet that shit burned. Yeah, she was. We were all there. We all have her back. In that room last night, 200 people, they ain't shit. There's plenty more where that came from. And we outnumber you like 1,000,000-1. And the truth is on our side. And all you little bitches can do is just sit on Twitter and cry about it. Cry, cry, cry. Carrie Lama and Julie Carpenter. And you say, oh my God, he's out there with, well, let's just read some tweets. Let's go on. Let's read some. I want to read some of these tweets. I want to read some cope. Let's find some good cope here, as we call this. All right. What do we got here? Oh, Grant's been having a lot of cope today, but I can't even read Grant because it's all just like conspiracy nonsense. I don't even understand what he's saying half the time. It's not even fun reading the Grant cope. Okay. I stand with the O'Keefe family. No, you don't. Okay, so Julie Carpenter's playing my video right now. Julie Carpenter is sitting there at home watching my show just to clip parts of it and put it up. Okay. She goes, Karen's greatest loss of this whole thing is the loss of her reputation. It's all about image for her. Yeah, probably because she's being falsely accused of murder. That might have something to do with it. Maybe. I don't know. Might have something to do with it. Maybe. John O'Keefe lost his life, Karen. He did. And it is a goddamn good thing Karen Reed is out there fighting for justice, or else we wouldn't fucking know how evil those murdering McAlberts are. So thank you, Karen Reed, for bringing to light the undeniable fact that John O'Keefe entered Brian Albert's home and exited unconscious. That those murdering McAlberts did something to him in there that made them realize he was not going to survive. And so they dumped him out on the front lawn to die like trash. That's how they treated him. So yes, thank you, Karen Reed, for bringing this to light. That's what she did. Thank you. A human life is far more important than your ego. Oh, yes, a human life is very important, Julie Carpenter. And that's why we're fighting for that human life. And you're not. You're on the side of evil. You're on the side of the murdering McAlberts. And that makes you a huge pile of shit. Okay? And one day you're going to die. We're all going to die. And that's going to be your legacy, is you spent your time sitting on Twitter standing up for murderers. Because that's what they are. They're fucking murderers. They're cold-blooded fucking cop-killing murderers. And none of them have sued me. I've been calling a murderer for the last year and a half. And none of them sue me because they know they're murderers. And they wouldn't dare sue me because they know that it will all come out in court if they want to do that. They don't want to do that. They don't want to be fucking deposed. You think Brian Albert wants to be fucking deposed? Pardon? Oh, you think Jennifer McCabe wants to sit through a fucking deposition? Oh. And that's going to be your legacy, was all the facts were on the table showing who murdered John O'Keefe, and you turned a blind eye to it. You are okay with it. You are okay with murder, you worthless piece of shit. That's what you are. Just know that. All you motherfuckers out there, the 10% of you, the 8% of you who actually support this, you're worthless maggots. And look at the people that you're getting behind. Look at them. Look at them. They're all liars. They're all destroying fucking evidence. Your leader is the most well-documented child abuser in Massachusetts. Like everybody around here knew who this maggot was beforehand. For 2 words, child abuse. Like that's the only thing people knew about Kay Peter. She abused her children and lost them to the state. That's who you rallied behind. So there's that. Okay. What else? Let's read some more cope. She's always good for cope. Who else has some good cope? They're so mad. Karen Reed's parents held a fundraising event at a wedding venue for their unmarried daughter. They're unmarried. Well, I love when people take shots at others for being unmarried. Yeah, you know what? She might be unmarried, but she's probably a lot happier than your husband. Trust me. Trust me, Julie. That motherfucker, whether or not you know it, every time he goes in the bathroom and he tells you he's taking a shit, he's not. He's jerking off to other women. Because he like the thought of having sex with you once every 2 weeks frightens him. It's like the thing he looks forward to least. Like after the first thing he thinks of after he fucks you, Julie Carpenter, is like, thank God I don't have to do that for 2 more weeks. That's the first thing he thinks. So every time he's in the bathroom and he tells you he's taking a shit, he's not. He's stroking his 3.5-inch dick to other women. Just know that. That's what he's doing. So you can take shots at her for being unmarried, but at least she's not living in a fake relationship where they're pretending to be happy, because no woman could ever be happy with you. No woman, no man especially could ever be happy with you, because nobody wants a fucking woman who sits around in Indiana all day and just consumes herself with turtle boys. He's like, bitch. He's probably happy about it though. He's like, oh, good. She's fucking sitting down watching Turtle Boy again. Good. Now I can fucking jerk off to, this other girl on Facebook that I was friends with from high school, because he is jerking off to her. Just understand that. Well, you're doing this every time. He's happy that you're consumed with this because he gets to masturbate to other women. That's what he's doing. So enjoy that. Yeah, they're so mad about it. It's what else do we have here? Carrie Lam is another good one. Let me see if we can find hers. They're so mad about this. There's so much cope. All right, Carrie Lama. Where'd she go? At Mama Llama, right? Okay, I gotta find hers. She's always a good one. Like she gets so mad. I love the ones that get so mad. At Mama. Is there 2 L's in Llama? No. Llama? Oh, there it is. Okay. What's she mad about today? Let's see. Oh, Kofen Doofus was mad today too. This is like what they tweet about all day. John O'Keefe has been forgotten in the circus. He is the one and only one victim. Did you miss my speech, bitch? I don't think John O'Keefe's been forgotten by anyone. You don't get to pretend that you give a fuck about the O'Keefe family. You don't. Because you don't give a fuck about them, because you support the people who murdered him. And no matter how many times you try to deny that, that's what you were doing. You're supporting murderers. You're worthless. All of you. You're fucking worthless. What else do we have here? Karen Reed's Tuesday Get Zet. This is another good one. I think this chick's local, actually. She's talk about, I don't know if she has a boyfriend or a husband, but this guy, motherfucker, is definitely jerking off in the bathroom. And he says, Karen Reed's public supporting the man who refers to the victim's family as maggots and the witnesses' kids as cunts. Which witnesses' kids did I call cunts? I didn't think I called any of the witnesses' kids cunts. I definitely call a lot of the witnesses cunts because they are. I'm stunned. I'm sure that's what they're thinking. Well, you know what? I don't think they're like, oh, my daughter's been framed for murder, and here's this guy who is, standing up for her and getting justice. But he also called these really evil people cunts. So I wonder, should I support him or not? I think they're gonna pick the former. I'm just saying they might do that, because guess what? They are cunts, all of them. They suck. And all the fucking whiny cunts on what's left of Sean and the Gulf's fan base on there, the DCF moms, Courtney Egan. Oh, we can get into her tonight too. The other one Sean's been standing up for, Courtney Egan. Oh, we got her DCF papers. Ho, 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 ho. Stay tuned. But a lot of people don't like that word, but too bad. Like if you're more offended by my language than you are about the fact that an innocent woman is being framed for murder, you can go fuck yourself, cunt. That's all I got to say to you. So last night, the Reed family spent the evening raising money alongside those who dedicate all their time to destroying John O'Keefe's family and engaging in and encouraging witness intimidation and harassment. They can call it that. Nobody's been convicted of witness intimidation. No one ever will. Not a single one of us will ever be convicted of witness intimidation because it ain't witness intimidation. And we're going to win that. And you can call it witness intimidation all you want because you found some corrupt cops to charge us with it, but you ain't going to go anywhere with it. In case you haven't seen in my case, it's not going very well for the people who claim that we're intimidating witnesses. You might have missed the updates. You saw the arraignment. You liked that one. You all got wet to that one. You all liked it when you saw me in handcuffs. And now that was your big day. But guess what? That was the climax. You sent me to jail and you're like, ooh, so now we really got him. Nope. Never. You're never going to get rid of me, ever. And you're never going to get rid of this movement, ever. We're not going anywhere. And this isn't witness intimidation. Calling Brian Albert isn't intimidating witnesses. It's stating an undeniable fact. That's what it is. There's a reason that Brian Albert hangs his head low when he goes out. Because he knows, because he has shame. Because he knows what he did. He knows how shameful it is that he didn't come out of his house when there was first responders tending to a dying cop on his front lawn. He knows how shameful that is. He knows how unforgivable that is. He knows it. He knows that there is a dog in his bedroom that was awakened from that and was barking its head off. And that if he was sleeping, he knows that people knew that would wake him up. He knows that. He knows that everywhere people go, the first thing they say when he walks by to themselves, if they don't say it out loud, is there goes the murderer. That's what people think when they look at Brian Albert. And that's what we think when we see Brian Higgins go by. We're like, oh, there's the guy that killed John O'Keefe. That's what we think. Everybody thinks that. When people see Jen McCabe go by, they're like, oh, that's the woman who Googled how long to die in cold as part of a plot to cover up a murder. To actually murder him. Like she was actually involved in the murder. She's a murderer. That's what people think whenever they see Jen McCabe go by in public. When people see Chris Albert, they think he's a murderer, but not because of John O'Keefe. Not because of John O'Keefe, because of Peter Berger, a man that he murdered in 1994 when he hit his car and then fled the scene. He murdered him. So that's what people think when they see these people. And they're ashamed of it. And now they don't like being called murderers. And they found some corrupt cops to call it witness intimidation when people do that. But it doesn't change the fact that it's not. It's not actually witness intimidation. And no one's guilty of witness intimidation until they're convicted of it. And it's never happened. So there's that. There's that. But anyway, yeah, like he wasn't even at his own retirement party Friday. Just understand that. That's how shamed Brian Albert is. Brian Albert does not have a good reputation in the Boston Police Department. They know. You know how many Boston cops come to Karen Reed's trial that aren't named Carl Dougal? Zero. Because they know. They know. So the O'Keefes, Jen McCabe, Brian Albert, and Colin Albert can't leave their house without being harassed and gawked at. Well, first of all, gawked at is not a big deal. Like you get gawked at, okay, you'll be okay if you get gawked at. But Jen McCabe, Brian Albert, and Colin Albert can't leave their houses without being harassed. They can, though. They do go places without being harassed, but they do always have to think about that. And that makes me happy. Okay? Like that's kind of what, if you kill someone and then everybody knows you killed somebody and then you go out in public, you know, you should probably think to yourself, like, I wonder if that guy thinks I killed somebody. Probably thinks I died. So that's a little awkward. The whole thing's awkward, like everybody knows what they did. And if that makes them uncomfortable to go out in public, maybe they should have thought of that before murdering somebody, before Googling how long to die in cold. And you will never, ever, ever convince me that Colin Albert wasn't part of this, ever. Colin Albert was in the house at the same time John O'Keefe was. It's an undeniable fact. There is zero evidence, zero, saying that Colin Albert wasn't there. There was no push to get Julie Nagel or Sarah Levinson out of that house. There's no widespread movement by that side to be like, Sarah Levinson wasn't there. Julie Nagel wasn't there. There's nothing like that. But there is that for Colin. Because it doesn't matter. If John O'Keefe was killed outside the house, it doesn't matter if Julie Nagel was there. It doesn't matter if Sarah Levinson was there. But they are trying so hard to convince you that Colin Albert wasn't there. And logic and common sense would lead any normal person to ask, why is that? Why is that? And, Brian Albert doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that would be dumb enough to murder somebody, to do something that causes a death. Like, he'll kick the shit out of you. He's known for that. But that strike in the back of the head that happened to John right there, somebody dumb did that. Somebody impulsive did that. Somebody with no self-control did that. And whoever did that went too far. And if it was somebody like, I don't know, Colin Albert that did it, then obviously the older ones would do everything they could to protect him, because it was just a dumb mistake. There he goes doing something stupid, right? That to me makes a lot more sense than Karen Reed did it. It just makes a lot more sense, because there is a thing in the back of his head, and Colin is known for violence. He obviously glorifies violence. We saw in those videos, they're sick, they're sadistic. Those are not normal videos. The Bang Bang videos are not normal. Like, there is absolutely, guys, nothing. Like, pro tip: if your kid starts making videos like this and posts them on social media,
yo, your advantage boys, I will beat all your asses. I promise you, I will fuck you all up. Pull up, bitch. You're a bitch, bro. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, you pussy.
Clean cold, boy, you be knocked out. KO. Bang, bang.
There's nothing normal about that. Natalie told me that. It's like, there's just nothing normal about that whatsoever. That's, if your kid's making videos like that, posting on social media, you failed as a parent, and you should do something to intervene, but not the McAlberts. They encourage that. They think that's cool. They think it's masculine to do shit like that. It's not. It's not, but they glorify that kind of shit in the McAlbert family. And so that is why I have no doubt, that is my opinion. I don't know what happened inside that house. I know John O'Keefe went into that house alive and conscious, and he came out unconscious and on the verge of death. That's what I know. So something happened in there, and he didn't do it to himself, did he? Something happened in there. He didn't just fall and slip. That can't be what happened. So anyway, that's my rant about that. So back to the donos here. Steffi says, who is the man KR's dad was referring to in his speech? I'm not sure. Nicole sends $10 and goes, please say hi to Jack, my son. He knows better than to repeat the curses. Good boy. Valentine needs to put Phelps' duck back in his mouth so he stops talking so much. Yes, I can't say stay with him next to me. We are rooting for you and Karen. Well, thank you very much, Nicole. And shout out to Jack. I appreciate that. Leanne sends 50 smackaroos and says, hey, doctor, do you have any information on Karen's new lawyer? Just wondering what his specialty is. P.S. You rock. Yeah, what the hell is this guy's name? Alessi? I just got this text message too that somebody said. So we were at the Lincoln tonight in South Boston, and with the glare, and then the glare, I left there to go do the show, and apparently the glare is texting us and saying that someone went up to him at the bar after we left and said, "Tell Turtle Boy he's a little bitch." And he said it looked like Tristan's friend. So again, these are the kind of, again, whoever you are that did that, why don't you just come up and say it to my face, bro? Why are you so afraid of me? I ain't going to bite you. I know I'm a big witness intimidator. You know, I'm so scary like that. You're so scared of me. But you don't got to be scared of me. You can come up and say that to my face if you want. If you want to do that, we can do it. Tristan did it at Castle Island. It didn't end the way he wanted it to, but at least he did it. You know, you can try that too, but we'll see. So anyway, back to the turtle chat here with, I think his name is Alessi. Is it, anybody know how to spell it? I haven't had that much of a chance to look. Is it Anthony Alessi? Anthony Alessi. Okay. I think that's his name, right? Or no? Make sure I'll check the chat. You guys know. Yeah, Tristan Morris Gump. Yeah. All right. Oh, Kim Fair's tweets are probably electric. I haven't seen them. I bet they're so mad. Alessi, right? Yeah. So this guy, I haven't had a chance to do a full background search on him. Robert Alessi, is that his name? Robert Alessi, that's his name. Okay, Dag Nabbit had a. So he's a managing partner at the New York City firm DLA Piper, and he has a experience defending complex cases involving appellate issues and government misconduct. That's what he's known for. And his cross-examination, I'm sold. Anybody know much about this guy? Because I don't know that much about him. I heard great things. There's more and more people. Even at Karen Reed's last hearing, there's all these people in the front row I've never seen before. And they all look sharp and were well dressed. I don't know who these people are, but there appear to be some new forces on the Karen Reed defense team. And they're not fucking around anymore. You know what I mean? Like this is what I heard. He's really good for cross-examination. This is what people tell me about this guy. He's really good for cross-examination stuff. Nick sent me his bio. Hold on. Oh, okay. Actually, guys, let me see what we have here. Let me pull up his bio. So a brilliant attorney with strategic mindset and an exceptional work ethic. I like the sounds of that. Those are all good words. He serves as global chair of DLA Piper's energy sector. Okay. One of Fortune 100's, called upon by Fortune 100 domestic and international clients to handle their most significant energy, environmental, and financial services matters, be they the defense of government, criminal and enforcement actions, judicial and administrative trials, and appellate litigation, regulatory compliance, project development, and major transportation. He has also been acclaimed. Hold on. He's also been, what the hell? He's been repeatedly acclaimed for his multifaceted practice in the leading legal rating publications. That's great. He has the highest rating, an AV preeminent lawyer, recognizing his legal skills and ethics. Clients have referred to him as an A+ attorney, the one attorney I would pick to be the next to me when it really counts. That's good. And one of the smartest lawyers I've ever worked with. In addition to, clients have said that he is an extraordinarily smart, creative, meticulous, incredibly bright, hardworking, pragmatic, and thoughtful. Okay. But the other side is Hank, the $75,000 pussy. So they got him. So they got that going for him. Yeah, he was representing the governmental entity charged with planning the rebuilding and revitalization of the Trade Center, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So normally he does civil litigation, but I guess he's really good on cross-examination stuff, and that's kind of why they're bringing him in, I'm told. So anyway, I look forward to seeing him. Like they're not bringing him in just to fuck around, right? You guys might know more about this than me, but again, I will learn about him in due time, I'm sure. Okay. All right. So back to this. Thank you. Next one is from Tom Morris, sends $5, goes, the new attorney specializes in energy. Hopefully we're talking kinetic energy. Yes. And then was it Trooper Paul that didn't know what that was? Yeah. Sarah sends $25 and goes, can you list everyone you know that testified at the federal grand jury? What are you, M.William Phelps? Want me to send you a list of that shit? I don't know. Off the top of my head, Colin Albert, Brian Albert, Jennifer McCabe, Allie McCabe, Michael Proctor. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. I'm not sure who else spoke, but thank you for that one. All right, next up, we got here. Where'd it go? Katie sends $25 and goes, we're here because of you, Turtle Boy. Birthday weekend in Boston. Hi, Jilly. Justice for John, free Karen, and free the turtle, Katie and Melissa. I appreciate that, Katie. Thank you. And hi, Gilly. Gilly or Jilly? Thank you. Thank you. All right. Joe C sends $25 and goes, I heard your manager on Aussie's show earlier. She was analyzing Plevin show. We're going to listen to some of that too. He's a real bottom feeder. I'm so sorry. He and the other ass he represents are exploiting your hard work. God bless DB. The truth will prevail. Yes, we're going to talk about that. Thank you. Tanya sends $10, goes, short and sweet. I love you, Turtle Boy. Well, I love you too, Tanya. It's very nice of you. Thank you. Romy sends $50 and goes, this Turtle Chat is private and the copyright is exclusively owned by Romy. Recipients of this Turtle Chat do not have permission to publish, post, or resend to anyone, anywhere, anytime. We're going to get to that too. The freaking copyright shit that Valentinas tried to pull. Oh, who's hilarious. God, this guy's stupid. God, he's stupid. Thank you very much, Romy. Nicole sends $10, goes, I discovered you when Jen McCabe gave you a shout out during her testimony, and I've been a faithful follower of yours ever since. Thank you. Thank you, Jenny McCabe, for that shout out at the trial. And Turtle Boy is doing this. Turtle Boy, she said, like, you know, she couldn't wait to make it about me because she don't want you talking about the facts. She does not want you thinking about all the shady shit she did. So she's going to turn herself into a victim. Thank you. All right. Turtle, let me see. Over Cash Apps. We're getting Cash Apps here. Okay. Peggy sends $20 and goes, thank you for being a very kind person. Well, that was very nice of you, Peggy. I appreciate that. Thank you for being a kind person as well. $15 from Boss to LAX. What happened in court? It didn't stream. You'll have to be more specific. What court are you talking about? Thank you, Boston. 15 from Jenna says, your stylist did a great job. I loved your fit. I know she does an awesome job, doesn't she? Shout out to Catherine McCavanagh. She does excellent work. And I like, because I'm not a fashionable guy. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't even know where to go. You know, I mostly go to Marshall's. So Lorena sends $5 and goes, Christy is the fucking boss bitch on X on Twitter. Yeah, she is. Christy is just king of the receipts over there on Twitter, isn't she? She's been on the other side. She's seen on the other lines, and she was not impressed by what she saw. And she has seen the light, and she is telling all, and it's a beautiful thing. So thank you very much for Christy for her hard work with that. Okay. Do we have any more Turtle Chats here? Before we go into the next thing, probably a couple more. Nancy sends 25, and she goes, the first time my husband and I heard Krusty on the Gulf, we both died laughing. Free the closet toddler. Exactly. It's a closet toddler now. Free Karen Reed and free Turtle Boy. It's the perfect name for him, isn't it? Krusty on the Gulf. Thank you. Laguna Beach fan sends $25 and goes, looking from the outside in, how odd. After the first trial, Sean was on a rampage to blow up Brian Albert. All those episodes that lead to trying to blow up the Boston Police Department, holding them hostage until they made a statement about Brian Albert. Now his rampage is Turtle Boy and the Karen Reed movement. Thanks for what you do, Turtle Boy. Yeah, there was a lot of talk about that. And just not, I don't think Brian Albert ever watched 5 minutes of his thing, like ever. I mean, it was entertaining for me to watch his rants about Brian Albert. I enjoyed them very much. But I don't think Brian Albert actually watched a second of those. So there's that. And I'll tell you, another person who doesn't watch a second of his is Karen Reed, because she asked me the other day, like, what's going on with this thing with Sean in a group chat? And she didn't know anything about it. And so I had to explain it to her. And I'm like, look at 6 months ago, we've talked about this. I was not happy about not being in the courtroom, and I vented about it in a group chat. It's how I felt at the time. I don't feel that way anymore. And it is what it is. At no point do I ever suggest or say that, you directed me to do anything. That is, of course, what they're inferring from this. But this is what's happening. And this is what Sean in the Gulf is promoting and trying to help. So Sean in the Gulf is actively trying to help the other side get Karen Reed's bail revoked. Never forget that. Sean in the Gulf is actively trying to assist evil people in getting Karen Reed's bail revoked. Don't forget that. Okay. Pigskin Flute sends $10 and goes, fuck the Pats, fuck the Commonwealth. They're both fucking losers. Excellent. I think we read that one already, didn't we? No, or not. Okay. Did we read this? All right. Hey, Nikki sends 25 and says, there's a lightness to your spirit tonight. I think last night was definitely needed for all to reset all the negativity going over the past few weeks. Love to see it. Free Karen Reed. That's a great point. That's a great point. Thank you. Don Mason sends $65 and he goes, here's the bank chargeback fee from your fake manager. Go get yourself a real manager. Can you believe that motherfucker? He asks me, so Compelling Pictures, when I signed with them, they put their money where their mouth is, and there's like a $5,000 signing bonus. And so Valentinas was my manager who got the deal done, and probably could have done it myself. And he takes 15% and said I should have got a check for $42.50. And he's like, okay, I'm going to wire you the money. And he asked for my routing number and my bank account number. Okay, cool. I give him both. Didn't work, he says. What? Didn't work? Okay, try it again. Nope. Did you get it? Nope, didn't get it. Oh, it got sent back. Okay, I'll just mail you a check. So he sends me a check, and it's $65 short. It's less than $65 less than $42.50. And I'm like, what happened? Where's the other 65? Not that it's the end of the world, but where's the 65? And he's like, oh, that was the fee I had to pay. What? So I not the fee you have to pay, the fee I have to pay, apparently. I have to pay a fee because I gave you, those were the correct numbers I gave you. And if they bounce back, that's not on me. I don't know what the fuck happened. Why am I paying this shit? Like, what? That's just madness. Fucking madness. But whatever. It's just typical of a grifter. That's what he is, a grifter like Matt Valentinas. So thank you. Closet Baby's attorney sends $10 and goes, please note this turtle chat is private and copyright exclusively owned by the Closet Baby. Recipients of this turtle chat do not have permission to read it on an award-winning YouTube show. Okay. Thank you very much for that, Closet Baby's attorney. Okay. If anyone else wants to have their message out read to the class, they can click at the link at the top for turtle chat, or they can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtle Boy, and we can do it that way. All right. Let me pull some up here. Hold on. 34 Fairview. Okay. All right. So, let me pull this blog up first that I published on this. All right. So again, I did a whole show on this a couple weeks ago, but I didn't like organize it as much. So I'll be as brief with this as I can, right? Just to bang through this. So, as you guys know, I signed up to do a podcast with this douchebag. Where'd he go? M.William Phelps. Okay. Matt Phelps. I believe it's Matt with one T. That's how annoying he is. And I'd never heard of him before. You've never heard of him before. He's a fucking nobody. But whatever. He does a podcast. I guess I trust my manager. My manager was the one that, kind of hooked me up with him. And I'll give you the history of this. So, the podcast has been a disaster. And I think a lot of the question people are asking is, why the fuck would you do this? Why? And again, because I was bamboozled. I was lied to by these people. These guys lied the whole time. And, I interviewed Phelps on my show, and I've played clips of this before. But the whole thing was a disaster, right?
The bigger problem is the tag of law enforcement in this case. So it really is gonna key on a lot of that stuff.
Well, what makes this audience, my audience, is these people are fucking informed, man. The people watching, we're doing a Canton trivia next Friday, and I am gonna have to come up with some tough fucking questions because
comment. That's not what this is. This is 5 years. The third season, same. So those are investigations that I've conducted with unsolved murders, and I'm on the ground, be it in Canada, in Texas.
He asks here. So does Phelps, do you believe Karen Reed is guilty or innocent? And he's looking at the comments.
Whatever it takes me. And I am investigating that. And I am giving my take on what's going on. That's not what this is. That's not what I'm doing here. So your both sides comment. That's not what this is. This is, I'm trying to figure out the truth here through all the noise. That's what I'm trying to do. And you're the person who, look, and I say this, I've said it before, and I say it in the podcast. Arguably, you have done more research than anybody in this case.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think there's any question about that.
Yeah.
You've had good sources. You've broken exclusive information. You've written, I don't know how many posts.
Yeah, and I was at the trial. I became
really
right.
I've been down there knocking on doors, interviewing people, doing my thing.
Right.
That no one else did. So
that's an important story to tell. And I will be supplementing that, with other interviews, obviously. And it's not this tit for tat thing. It's not a tit for tat thing. That's not what I'm doing. What I'm trying to do is, one of my expertise is documents. So I've probably viewed hundreds of thousands of pages of documents in murder cases over 25 years, especially crime.
He's just a pretentious douche, and this was a complete disaster when I had him on. He speaks down to everyone, thinks he's smarter than everyone, etc. And there's been 5 episodes, and it has been a disaster. Right? A complete disaster. Like I came up with some bullet points here. We go over these on Turtle Club a lot. We listen to this thing. Jen McCabe is a credible and attractive person while saying Karen Reed is sinister. He said that Karen Reed's dad lied about her being suicidal in order to have her sectioned so that Karen wouldn't have to answer questions from the police. This is a guy who says he's just following the facts. None of that is a fact. None of that is a fact. He is just literally making that up and coming up with his own theories. None of that is a fact. That is completely made up. So this idea he's following facts is just untrue. He said that Karen might have went back to 34 Fairview Road at 5 a.m. Not true at all. Like, there's no evidence of that whatsoever. And not even the prosecution brought that up at the last trial because there's no evidence of that whatsoever. Nothing like that exists at all. He said that that Phelps constantly fact-checked me, like always during these. I would say something, he taped me. When he interviewed me, he never said anything to me. He never challenged me on anything, really. He just let me rant. And then he goes home and he plays a clip and he's like, actually, that's not true. Fact check, And one of the things he fact-checked, like one of the things he said that there's no evidence Jennifer McCabe was up at 4:53 a.m. when Karen Reed called. And I'm like, wait a minute. There's Apple Health data showing Jen moving around at 3:50. Her heart rate on her Apple Health data remained steady throughout the night, which wouldn't happen if you were sleeping. She was clearly awake. It's like, so he's just making shit up. The ARCA experts, like, you got to hear. Oh, let me play the ARCA expert one. Like, you got to, I think it's in episode 5. Let me see if I can find that one. The ARCA expert part. You got to hear this.
The victim's girlfriend saying, I dropped him off at a party.
Oh, God.
Alex Jones. Still, you cannot deny his law enforcement experience.
For about 7 years.
Oh, God.
Has been found is a highly revered, decorated Boston cop and high profile was to station a few officers there with their vehicles.
Now, I read that.
Keith was wearing, along with all the other evidence collected, including a hair found on the back bumper of Karen's SUV, which will soon be determined by science to be John's. Then, when she inspects...
Is that true? Was that ever determined by science to be John's? Did I miss that in the trial where they determined the human hair is determined by science to be John's? Did I miss that? And does that matter at all? Like, you live there.
John's clothing, specifically his pullover hoodie sweat,
is essentially in front of the brain, so the frontal lobes obviously
forward quickly and violently. And yet it's the injuries on the front of his brain, not the back, where that laceration bites and scratches. Contusions, cuts, and
is a blunt object. The blunt force.
Let's take a look at the autopsy and what specialists case will become hotly debated among Karen and her team, Free Karen Reed, Anti-Karen Reed, Justice for John O'Keefe, and the common brutal or minor injuries to your body. As I pointed out previously, John was knocked unconscious and ultimately died of hypothermia. There's no question about this. Yet, the violent injuries to his head and brain prove his skull sustained a major impact with a blunt force object.
We know that.
Here's a good question for you. What makes you so sure she didn't hit him?
The most obvious reason she didn't hit him is because the crash reconstructionists with the PhDs who do this for a living and have testified in hundreds of automobile collisions, they determined without a doubt, and they testified to this, two of them, that there was no way that the injuries from John O'Keefe's body came from a car crash. Absolutely no way.
So they got the ARCA experts. Listen to what he says about the ARCA experts. Again, these are guys with biomechanic PhDs that do this for a living, crash reconstruction experts who were hired by the FBI to determine whether or not John's injuries could have come from an automobile collision and whether or not the damage to the car or lack thereof could have come from a pedestrian strike hitting someone at 24 miles an hour in reverse. This is, again, they determined it's no possible way, the ARCA experts said. They said that they're inconsistent with being hit by a car. Okay? It was like amazing testimony that really just laid this whole thing to rest. He wasn't hit by a car, period. And, you know, this is all he says about this. This is what he says about the ARCA guys.
And that's all I need to hear. And that's the most, I mean, if you look at John, you don't need a PhD to look at his injuries and say this guy didn't get hit by a car. He didn't have a single bruise or broken bone from the nose down. Nothing. He's got, a 3-inch laceration in the back of his head, but he landed on grass. He's got, big black eyes. Like, that's the most obvious.
Beyond a bit of editorializing in his statement, Turtle Boy leans on what many of Karen Reed's supporters do. 2 outside experts brought in to look at the case and generally, I will add, claim John O'Keefe could not have been hit by a motor vehicle.
Generally claim that John could not have been hit by a motor vehicle. Generally.
Of course, other experts are brought in to counter that opinion that his injuries are consistent with being struck by a motor vehicle.
Other experts are brought in to say that they are consistent. Who? Who is the fucking expert, Phelps? Who is the expert? Are you referring to? Tell me you're not talking about Trooper Joseph Paul. Tell me you're not talking about that. I know you're not talking about Trooper Joseph Paul. I know you're not actually doing that. Are you? Really? Joseph Paul? They don't say that. And he doesn't play any of the ARCA. He plays about 15 minutes of the medical examiner talking about who determined that John easily, they don't play the part where Elijah Little asks her, could he have been hit by a barbell? Yes. Could he have been hit by a blunt object? Yes. Totally. He doesn't play that part. But he plays 15 minutes talking about, like, he had a brain injury. We all agree on that, dipshit. We all agree on that. But he actually says here, what do you say?
And even though, really, I will add, claim John O'Keefe could not have been hit by a motor vehicle. Of course, other experts are brought in to counter that opinion that his injuries are consistent with being struck by a motor vehicle.
The guy that said that the scene spoke to him, that the phone, how did the phone get underneath him? It just did. The guy that said that John did the scratches on his arm came from a goddamn taillight. He did a pirouette in midair and somehow landed on the sidewalk after hitting his head somewhere. And then the grass, the frozen grass, I guess, gave him the cut in the back of that, something like that. And then the phone ended up underneath his body somehow. That guy. He just compares it, like, basically, yeah, these are 2 competing ideas. What? So this is when he's like, I follow the facts. No, you're just lying. You're just lying. Like, there's nothing factual about anything you just said.
And even those 2 experts supporting Karen Reed's argument, well, they finally admit on the witness stand it's possible.
That's the only thing he said about them, that they admit on the stand it's possible.
So let's take a look at the autopsy and what's special.
That's it. That's all he has to say about the ARCA. That they said it's possible. He doesn't play any of their testimony, nothing. He's a liar. This guy's just a fraud. He's a lying piece of shit. That's what Matt Phelps is. And he's protecting cop-killing murderers. That's going to be his legacy when this all is said and done. He protects cop-killing murderers. So that's all he ever is. But anyway, unlike him, I actually get to see my fucking kids. So how about that, Phelpsy? Yeah, we talked about that. You cried about that to me. Oh, yeah, but yeah, sure thing. Yeah. Now it's starting to make sense to me.
Specialists with decades of experience have.
Let's see. So decades of experience. Yeah. So let me play some more clips here. And again, I don't want to give this guy too much attention. but I just want to rip it a little bit. You know what I mean? Let me rip it.
This podcast is Crossing the Line with M.William Phelps Presents and Mom's Basement Media Production. Mom's Basement. Yeah, it might be. He may live in his mom's basement, actually, now. The first time I met with self-published book author and self-published blogger Aidan Kearney on August 5th, 2024, I brought an external hard drive with me. I asked him to put everything he had as far as documents on that hard drive and any other audio or video he thought might be important for me to understand the conspiracy.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't tell him I had every document connected to the Reed case already. I had been going.
So he goes, so he already had everything he's saying. He's like, give me everything you had. He's like, give me every document in this case that you can just go and find yourself. What? I'm like, you can just find them yourself, bro. I don't have time to do all your fucking babysitting for you. I'm running a fucking website over here. I'm killing it. And you think I'm going to stop everything I'm doing so I can do your fucking homework for you?
Going through it all. I wanted to see what he would give me and match it up.
Oh, he wanted to use
He told me, just go to my blog, read all my stories.
Yeah.
Go to my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You can find everything you need there.
Yeah.
After asking several more times for documents throughout the next couple of weeks,
Listen to this guy.
he uploaded one 90-plus page document in a Dropbox I had set up, which turned out to be an unproven theory filing from Karen's attorneys outlining the conspiracy, which was never, ever validated in a court of law.
What? I gave him Alan Jackson's 92-page affidavit filled with evidence, John's Apple Health data, all of Jennifer McCabe's call log, everything on there, all of which was validated at trial, all of it. And he's like, because I'm like, okay, just start here, I guess. I don't fucking know. Like, you can find the shit. But apparently now he's saying he wasn't lazy, guys. He was just testing me. He was just testing me to see what I would give him. He was just seeing if he was playing, you know, I was playing checkers, he was playing chess. Sure thing.
In keeping with the work I have done for 2+ decades, I dug into the court record and never stopped digging.
Never stopped.
Completed my tour on active duty.
I really thinks he's like, Mr. Like, I figured the case out and no one else has 2+ decades on it. Bitch, you don't know shit about the case, Phelps. And you're too much of a pussy to just fucking talk to me about it. Too much of a pussy. Let's call him right now. Let's give him a call. Let's call Phelpsy up. Matty Phelps. Let's call him up.
Hi, you've reached investigative journalist M.William Phelps. Please leave your name and number. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi, this is investigative journalist Timothy Kearney calling you. I am calling to see why you won't answer any of my messages or debate me on this. I'm just wondering, you know, I always knew you were a pussy, but how did you become like such a pussy? You know what I mean? Like, how come you can't just talk to me about this? Are you scared to do it? Are you worried that I'll have too many facts for you and too much evidence for you, and that I'll be able to disprove everything that you're saying? How come you can't debate me, Phelpsy? What are you afraid of? You're Mr. True Crime guy, right? How come you can't just talk about this? Because we're all laughing at everybody's laughing at you right now, like you're a clown, and you know everybody's mocking you. But I'll give you one thing: amongst DCF welfare moms, you've got a monopoly. I cannot beat you in that demographic. You have got that locked down, my friend. So, you know, you got that going for you. And you got Plevin too. I don't have Plevin. You have Plevin. I can't say shit about that. So, you know, score 1 for you there, I suppose. But I'm listening to some of this shit here. Like, listen to what you say about this woman here.
I went into work in the field and eventually then did my master's in computer forensics from George Mason University.
Jessica Hyde has an academic look to her.
She has an academic look to her. She looks like she's about to blow up the World Trade Center. What are you talking about? An academic look to her? Where are you getting that from, Phelpsy? You're making shit up. Come on. I'd say that you're better than this, but I don't think that you are. So just stop being a pussy and call me back. All right? Talk to you later. Bye. All right. So he never returns my calls. But anyway, imagine saying that she has an academic look to her. Jessica Hyde has an academic look to her.
There's horned rim glasses underneath a trendy maroon headscarf. For decades, Hyde has dedicated her professional life to understanding the systems behind what most of us take for granted every day of our lives. The technological data keeping the pulse beating on our smart devices. Eve's death.
called ARTE.
That the more common and up-to-date measures provided her with the most accurate results. Thoroughness is what I hear. Absolute certainty. And when you're talking about computer and mobile phone forensic data, that is what you get. Because even if someone nefariously manipulates the data, or the data is off, that manipulation and variation becomes part of the data.
So in looking at that analysis, I was focused specifically on the data that took place on January 29th. So the first thing I did was it was stated that's an automatic process. The tools are that statement of recovery means deletion. So I was exploring.
You didn't hear any single second of the ARCA guy's testimony. Nothing. We haven't heard Marie Russell's testimony, not a second of it, but you get tons of Jessica Hyde, tons.
So Hyde had actually authored a white paper on this very topic.
Oh.
The question she looked at in this case is, did Jennifer McCabe search at 2:27 a.m. how long to die in cold and then delete that search?
The LKD terms in third from a
very important within the totality of the case. If Jennifer McCabe conducted that 227 search and deleted it, this would lend itself to Karen Reed's argument that she was set up and framed. Not necessarily a smoking gun, but a gun nonetheless loaded and pointed.
He said that if she actually did it, it wouldn't be a smoking gun. What? Even Plevin admits that's a smoking gun. Okay.
Unblemished career hanging over her head is rather simple. Jennifer McCabe did conduct searches at 2:27 a.m., but she actually spent that time scrolling through a basketball website for a team one of her daughters had just made the roster for. In fact, all of the browsing she did that early morning centered around music videos and youth sports.
Well done.
If you open a tab on your smartphone at 2:27 a.m., search around in Google, fall asleep, and then conduct another search the following morning, that morning search will register the 2:27 tab opening time and the time you searched again in the morning when you woke up. On your smartphone at 2:27 a.m., search around in Google, fall asleep, and then conduct another search the following morning.
So if you conduct the search,
the browsing she did that early morning centered around music videos and youth sports. If you open a tab on your smartphone at 2:27 a.m., search around in Google, fall asleep, and then conduct another search the following morning, that morning search will register the 2:27 tab opening time and the time you searched again in the morning.
If you do a search at 2:27 a.m., so she did the search at 2:27 a.m. Is that what he's saying? Like, did I hear that wrong?
Open a tab on your smartphone at 2:27 a.m., search around in Google, fall asleep, and then conduct another search the following morning. That morning search will register the 2:27 tab opening.
Wait a minute. So he's saying if you open a tab at 2:27 and search for something like your kid's basketball team on that tab, and then you use that same tab later on to conduct a search for how long to die in cold, then Cellbrite will say that you did it at the previous time. That's what he's saying here. That's really what he's saying. So here's a question then. Why did it say on the Cellbrite thing, on the Cellbrite report, that she Googled it at 2:27 and 6:24 then? Why did it say them both? Why? Why are there two separate ones? Riddle me that one, dipshit. Can you do that one for me? Because that doesn't really make any sense, does it? And every criminal in America, right? Like, I've never heard of this before. I've heard of a lot of people getting convicted for Google searches, right? Never have I heard this thing that like, oh, no, I didn't Google that. I Googled this at that time. I Googled that way later on. No. Big misunderstanding. Like, imagine actually believing that. Holy shit.
Time and the time you searched again in the morning when you woke up. That is clear from what Jessica Hyde analyzed.
Clear.
To make certain of her assessment, Hyde conducted several tests before studying Karen's expert Richard Green's reports and affidavit.
There is no indication of a Google search at or before 2:27 a.m.
Richard Green, admittedly not even certified with Cellbrite, got it wrong.
Admitted.
And Cellbrite had to actually modify its software because of the misinterpretations he outlined in his affidavit.
How come he doesn't play any of Richard Green's testimony? Why don't you play that part where he allegedly does that? I don't remember that part, but go ahead.
In fact, Green also claimed a view Turtle Boy then took on, which you heard me discuss back in episode 3, that Jennifer McCabe had deleted all of her calls that morning, January 29th, between 5 and 9 a.m. But he misunderstood that data as well. Most phone call logs store 100 calls, and those coming in afterward go straight into a different folder within the phone. McCabe had been bombarded with calls in the days following John's death before handing over her phone to law enforcement. All of those calls pushed the log well over that 100 call storage space.
So let me get this straight. The calls, where is this from? Did I miss this testimony, guys? Did I miss this testimony? Like that you have 100. So the reason that all of those calls showed up as deleted is because after you have 100 calls you're allowed to store, and then after 100, they automatically delete. What? It's a fucking Verizon record report, dipshit. It doesn't, the report doesn't take up fucking storage. What are you talking about? That's literally no one testified to that. He's just making, does he cite anything? No, he's just making shit up. He is a liar. He's just a liar.
And Green misread that as Jennifer deleting those calls, which she had never done. Remember those calls by Jennifer McCabe to her sister early that morning I mentioned in an earlier episode, which Karen's expert Richard Green claimed were answered and then deleted by Jennifer McCabe.
Oh, yeah.
Later trial evidence shows that those calls, which go to voicemail, become listed as answered.
Wait, those calls go to voicemail? So where's the fucking voicemail? Remember those 9-second calls that she had to Nicole Albert that say answered on them? And they say they went to voicemail? Where's the voicemails? Where's the voicemails? And so are they saying that every call that comes up is answered? Either was answered or went to voicemail? So what do the unanswered calls mean? That means that they just don't answer it and it doesn't go to a voicemail? Like, what the fuck does that mean? They're just making shit up. Making shit up. He has no evidence to back up any of this.
On the caller's phone. That Richard Green apology isn't even the bombshell here within the alleged 2:27 a.m.
He apologized for when he apologized to Adam Lally, what did he apologize for? He was just like, I'm sorry for causing you stress. That's what he apologized to him for. I'm sorry if I'm causing you any stress. What?
Search by Jennifer McCabe, which 2 experts now agree Jennifer never made. Another expert, bringing the total experience to a combined 30 plus years in this field, Ian Whiffen, the senior.
Yeah, Ian Whiffen. Yeah, the senior, whatever. How come you're not talking about the guy from Purdue who spoke with Vanity Fair, who said the Google search did happen, or the Quantico trained expert from the FBI who said the Google search happened? What about him?
Digital intelligence expert in coding product.
Did you find this one out, Phelpsy? Like, why them? Why these two? Where'd they come from? Why do you go to Calgary to find Ian Whiffen? Right? They couldn't find anyone in the States that could figure out if this Google search happened? No.
Manager for.
So how do you explain all the but answers? How about those ones? Why'd they get rid of their phones? Why did they get rid of their phones the day before a preservation order happened? Why did Brian Higgins bring his SIM card to an army base to dispose of there? Why did he do that? Tell me, why did he do that? Why would he do that? Why would Brian Albert and Brian Higgins both testify that they went to sleep that night, and then when confronted by the FBI with data and evidence showing that they called each other at 2:22 in the morning, why did they then say that they were actually fucking their wife when they butt answered a phone call? Butt answered it. First he butt called while fucking her, and Higgins answered for 1 second, and then Higgins called him back and he butt answered it while butt fucking his wife. Can you answer that one, Phelpsy? Do you believe that? Do you believe that, Phelpsy? Because you have to be literally retarded to believe that. No one believes that. No one.
Albright, who was with the Calgary Police in Alberta, Canada, as a digital forensic examiner for over 10 years.
Any grand jury documents. To the contrary, she made it clear that she couldn't. She wasn't.
Laceration. No autopsy photos.
This were of close to 50 books. You might know me from my #1 Apple podcast hit, season 1 of and 30th. And now into Monday, January 3rd, serious criminal charges. Make bags under her eyes. At this time, the general feeling within the court, scant media coverage, and even Karen's lawyer, without anyone coming out and saying as much, is that Karen will plead her case down to lesser charges, accept a sentence she is comfortable with, and everyone can move on, agreeing that a terrible tragedy has taken place.
I don't remember any agreement about that, but go ahead.
And she never meant to kill John O'Keefe. John's parents and brother Paul are seated in the front row. Peggy O'Keefe, looking down, in tears, wiping her nose, her shoulders bouncing up and down as she cries, the paint cracking her taillight. Or, even more importantly, that she saw John walk. Someone else did. She never mentions. Driving away. The only major surprise here, I think, is that from the Commonwealth's point of view, it's clear that they believe it's possible Karen knew she hit John.
What?
Karen's attorney, David Gannetti, a tall, balding man with a thick, old-school Boston accent and a reputation in town for being one of the best at what he does.
A tall, balding man?
Comes right out of the gate, detailing Karen's standing in the community and her many ailments before seemingly distancing Karen from what could be her biggest problem, intent.
My client suffers from a host of 2009, and this past...
Notably, none of what he says here contains even a whisper of a possible second suspect or a conspiracy to frame Karen.
Because Yannetti didn't talk about the frame job at her arraignment, because they didn't know about it yet, because they were just like, they had no fucking clue. Because who the fuck could ever think that something so awful could happen? That's what makes the story so remarkable, is that like people act, wow. The evidence certainly seems to back that up. John's Apple Health data going up and down 3 flights of stairs. How do you explain that one, Phelps? You didn't even go there, did you?
In fact, the feeling mostly everyone in that courtroom and the media get from Yannetti is that he is heading down the road of a plea bargain.
I appreciate your argument. I'm opposing the 50,000.
As the case against Karen begins, and she lawyers up, and they all have time to then think things through, it's clear any sort of plea for her is now off the table. Karen, within her own self-centered entitlement, is going to fight this.
Karen, within her own self-centered entitlement, is going to fight this. That's what he calls an innocent woman fighting for her life. Self-centered entitlement. That's what he thinks of criminal defendants who have the audacity not to take a plea, is you are self-centered and entitled. Just in case you thought this guy couldn't be a bigger piece of shit.
Every defendant in Massachusetts has the right to put on a third-party culprit defense, meaning I didn't do it, someone else did. By February 2nd, 2022, Karen is not quite there yet.
No.
But she is an analytic person who develops financial strategies in her professional life.
What?
So we could say Karen is a calculator, as she predicts stock market behavior and manages money, someone who is always looking ahead. But as of February 2nd, she is still licking her wounds, gathering her strength, and no doubt thinking about her next big move. And this is kind of where and when social media becomes part of Karen Reed's ultimate plan.
Typically, I'm not...
Social media is part of
So it's not manslaughter anymore, it's a difference.
That's correct. It's a high...
New charges. This time she is brought in and booked for second-degree murder, manslaughter while operating under the influence of alcohol, and leaving the scene of personal injury and death. She is arraigned on the not been, as far as I can discern, introduced, nor have they spoken. Turtle Boy, per his own admission, is not even really aware of or interested in the case yet.
Yeah. Okay.
As Karen is being booked on that day, she begins talking to the officer, who is recording the conversation on his body cam. Karen will soon employ Aidan Turtle Boy Kearney as her mouthpiece in a devious plan to begin promoting a new narrative. But at this time,
well, that's just slanderous. She will employ, aka pay money to, Turtle Boy. Again,
she begins talking to the officer, who is recording the conversation on his body cam. Karen will soon employ Aidan Turtle Boy Kearney as her mouthpiece in a devious plan to begin promoting a new narrative. But at this time, the story...
She will employ Turtle Boy in a devious plan to promote a narrative. Karen did not employ me. She's never paid me a dime. There's nothing devious about telling the truth. Everything I've posted is factual. I don't work for her. She's a subject of my reporting who I support unconditionally when it comes to this case because she's innocent. And convicting Karen Reed means that there is no justice for John O'Keefe.
Of a hit and run by a drunk driver is a hard sell. There's no there in that truth.
No there.
So while standing handcuffed in front of the officer booking her, Karen Reed puts a remarkable story in play. A narrative completely out of left field.
Completely, yeah.
You're aware he's beaten up by Brian McAlberts. We're all on the same joke, right? My taillight was cracked and John was pulverized.
If that was hard to hear, Karen says he was beaten up by Brian and Colin Albert. We are all in on the same joke, right? My taillight was cracked and John was pulverized. Karen is ostensibly creating an alternative new narrative to push out into the public arena, especially social media, to disturb and confuse the basic truth of what she is accused of.
Again, if she's pushing this narrative into social media, then how come no one was talking about it until a year later?
She never says at this time where this information came from. She simply states the accusation.
Where it came from? Where it come from? She said, my taillight is cracked and John's head is pulverized. That comes from something called the autopsy photo. They look at his autopsy photos and they don't align with the damage to her car. It doesn't make any fucking sense, you Captain Dipshit.
To a police officer, knowing that it will go up the chain from there. I mean, if you're the defendant and you know this information and it's true, why would you share it with the police at this time? A source who would rather go unnamed, but was very close to Karen at this time, told me Karen has a history of intense jealousy, manipulation, getting revenge, and protecting herself at all costs.
Listen to that.
At this time.
Listen to this.
A source who would rather go unnamed, but was...
A source who would rather go unnamed. So source, trust me, bro. That's a source. Who would rather go unnamed says, what does he say about Karen? She has a history of what?
Very close to Karen at this time, told me Karen has a history of intense jealousy, manipulation, getting revenge, and protecting herself at all costs.
A history of manipulation, jealousy, protecting herself at all costs. What? Who is this source? Who is this source? Where's that document? Source, trust me, bro. Trust me, bro. That's his source. Okay. Yeah. Source, yeah, Krusty or Plevin. There you go.
I asked reporter Jessica Machado, who you've heard throughout the podcast. If she could offer any insight into Karen's relationship with her parents, knowing that Karen's father is, at this time, actively involved in keeping Karen out of jail and has been very vocal about his belief that his daughter has been...
and just never letting it get to her and say, I love your Alf. She's like, Karen, she's always been like that.
...to that story soon. But the publication of that story should have ended any speculation of a second perpetrator theory or second thoughts about Karen's guilt. And also given everyone an understanding of the evolution behind this story and how it all blew up. This, for me, is vital to understanding what happens next. How a conspiracy to frame Karen Read becomes mainstream, and also how Turtle Boy becomes involved, and why he is an important element of the story.
Raymond, it was memorable to me because she didn't look what the was 7
gets involved. But Jessica is one of so many
order where I really started to take note, went back and started reading them from the beginning, and that's when I started on a personal level.
So he plays Jessica Machado stuff here because she's like, I found out about the story from Turtle Boy, right? Like reading Turtle Boy, aka Turtle Boy started this whole thing. All these gullible people like Jessica Machado got duped. Silly, they're stupid. They're not like me. I interviewed Plevin, and I have unnamed sources that say shit. So you could trust me more. Yeah,
professional, paying attention to what was going on.
That is jumping ahead a bit into early 2023 when Turtle Boy gets involved. But Jessica is one of so many people I spoke to who said Turtle Boy is the reason being part of that conspiracy. As we move forward into the latter episodes of the series, I want you to remember this timeline. Karen's arrest in February 20. Important to note is that Colin Albert is, at that time, a 17-year-old child.
Oh, a 17-year-old child.
So what stood out to you right away that was different from, say, any other story like it that you might have run into?
Well, again, first and foremost, the visual of Karen as a young female who killed that guy, that's crazy. And then, of course, there was a boss stories that had, he's got some, I think that would not...
For me, from your point of view, as...
It really just came down to the way that Aidan had written these stories for me to be able to start getting hooked on it. That's really what it was. I couldn't wait for the next post to learn more about it.
My fault.
And if you could describe Aidan for me from your point of view as you began to read him, as you...
She talks about, and then for about 10 minutes here, she talks about the article I wrote about her in 2020, which we're cool with. Like, he tries to make it seem, oh, he smeared Jessica Machado. He's such a bad person. Like, what the fuck does an article I wrote about Jessica Machado in 2020 about COVID have to do with fucking the murder of John O'Keefe and figuring out answers to that? Nothing. It honestly shows that even a woman who I have written negatively about before can look at these facts, can put that aside and say, yeah, he's right about this one, though. He's right about this one.
Got to know him.
And a blog I had done, wrote it. He just printed all day. It was pretty bad. So the political pages, this work. Do I reach out to you and socially? Then I think you need to take it down. And I have always said there isn't really much that anybody can say on sort of how I handled it. So it's
screenshotting as many photos as she can from.
But I don't want him to. It's good.
As Karen is preparing to fight for her freedom, she is obsessively scrolling around Facebook and other social media sites and screenshotting as many photos as she can from Michael Proctor and even his wife's Facebook pages. But she is also imploring others to do the same. During this time, a conversation between Karen and her mother reportedly takes place after Karen's mother sees several autopsy photos of John O'Keefe's arm. Photos a friend of Karen's told me she made sure Turtle Boy got copies of and helped Karen put out into the public domain.
What? It was entered into fucking evidence, you idiot. It's in Alan Jackson's 92-page affidavit. Who gives a shit if it's in the public? The public should see those photos. They tell the story.
Allegedly, after seeing those photos, Karen's mother tells Karen that she believes the injuries on John's arm are consistent with an animal attack, not being struck by a motor vehicle.
They are.
And just to be clear, no canine DNA has ever been found in any of John's wounds. And it would be impossible for John O'Keefe to have been bitten and scratched by a dog without canine DNA being present. Not to mention, there are no...
Yeah. Where'd they get this? What did they swab? Did the people who tested the swab see what they swabbed? No, they didn't.
Underbites on the opposite side of that arm, indicating a dog clamped down, which dogs always do when they attack.
So, they do. Except why don't you listen to Garrett Wing, an actual expert in this field, talk about the difference between a trained police canine and an untrained police dog like Chloe and how those barks would specifically get there. It's eye-opening if you actually go out and listen to it, but you ain't going to do that because you're not actually looking for the truth, are you, Phelpsy?
So this notion that John was attacked by a dog is just false, scientifically speaking.
False.
It is all speculation.
Speculation.
Here's John O'Keefe's friend, John Jackson, referring to the spin, the conspiracy.
John Jackson's a real deep thinker. The guy that's like, oh, assaulted the other guy. Real deep thinker. And again, he didn't have any of these people initially. He told me in texts that all he had was Plevin. That's all he could get. But then he starts, because they didn't want to talk to him, because they're like, I don't trust this motherfucker. Nobody on the other side wants to talk to me. Then he starts putting out these pods that are like more and more favorable to the anti-Karen Read people. And they're like, oh, this guy's a friend, so we can trust this guy. And now they all want to talk.
Conspiracy crowd puts on just about everything.
Now, the new tax is the insurance, right? Now the new tax is how could somebody
die. How could you hit him with a 6,000-pound car in reverse at that speed and him not die? Yeah, it's because the 227 is working. You gotta find something else, right? So you gotta pivot, you move on, forget about it, oh, there's no dog saliva, no dog DNA anywhere in clothes or whatever. Oh, well, how do you explain it? Well, they didn't swab the right area.
Yeah, they didn't, or they didn't swab it at all because you can't trust Michael Proctor. It's that simple.
Misinformation that was put out at one time was that the Alberts, right after John O'Keefe's death, got rid of their dog, as if they were hiding it somewhere.
Listen to this.
That is just not true.
Oh.
The truth here, which I confirmed with those who have known the Alberts for decades, is that the dog was rehomed for months after John O'Keefe's death.
Oh, so he talked to the McAlberts. He talked to the McAlberts' friends, and they said the dog has been rehomed. So Chloe's alive. Great news, guys. Guys, we thought we had it figured out, but Phelpsy got to the bottom of it. He talked to some McAlbert friends, and like, oh no, Chloe got rehomed, which is exactly what they testified to in trial, and we're just supposed to take their word for it. Just take their word for it. Okay?
Because she got into a fight with another dog and bit someone. And everyone, including law enforcement and Karen Reed's team, know where the Alberts' dog is.
Listen to this. Listen to this.
To a fight with another dog and bit someone. And everyone, including law enforcement and Karen Reed's team, know where the Alberts' dog is.
Everyone, including law enforcement and Karen Reed's legal defense team, know where Chloe is. That's what he's just said right there. That's also slanderous. Karen Reed's team does not know where Chloe is. They have no fucking clue. No one can tell me. Tell me what town. Please tell me the town that Chloe's in. Do it. Playing fetch right now. Yeah. Up in Vermont. Somewhere in Vermont. I don't know. Pick a town. He actually said that Karen Reed's team actually knows where it is because he talked to someone. Trust me, bro. An unnamed source. Trust me, bro. He's a real reporter, this guy. He's a real reporter. He's getting to the bottom of it.
In the last episode, I went through the Lexus motor vehicle data with those experts qualified to comment on that evidence, all of whom outlined how unbiased data proves an event happened consistent with the pedestrian strike after John O'Keefe got out of Karen's SUV. During that event, Karen thrust the gas pedal down, drove in reverse, and as she herself later told the world during a national television interview, I might have clipped him, and in his drunkenness, he passed out.
That is not what she said. That is not what she said. She said, like go and play the tape back. They're asking her, why did you, what did you think when you first saw him? And she's like, I don't know. Like, maybe it could have done, because she wasn't thinking he was killed inside the house. That never occurred to her. She's like, how the fuck did I get there? It was one of many scenarios playing on her fucking head. That didn't make sense to her. Oh my God, he's such a liar.
I will add that she finds a way to blame John O'Keefe there. And those experts, they agreed with Karen because the data from her Lexus indicated as much, coupled with the broken taillight, John's DNA found on the bumper and in pieces of the broken taillight, with additional pieces of taillight found embedded in his clothing.
That they found, by the way, I don't ever remember that testimony of the trial about, did you guys hear that testimony? I must have missed that testimony about, I heard about it in the pretrial stuff, didn't hear anyone testify about microscopic taillight being embedded. Didn't see any pictures of that. Didn't see any pictures of that.
Another important factor here is that the bumper on Karen's Lexus has a 2-inch or so lip sticking out. And so for Karen to have cracked her taillight backing into John's Traverse while backing out of the garage on the morning of January 29th, which you've heard Karen's backers argue, she would have had to plow into the Traverse very hard, causing damage to that vehicle and even more to her Lexus.
My name is Brendan Kane. I'm part of this because I grew up with Johnny O'Keefe. We met in nursery school around the age of 4 and went to school together. Elementary school, junior high, high school. We remained very close friends through college. After college, I moved around quite a bit, and wherever I wound up, Johnny would come and visit. Every time I came home, I'd see him. We remained very close for over 40 years. He was in my wedding party, and then I did, unfortunately, have to serve as one of his pallbearers.
The pain in this man's voice and on his face when we spoke was undeniable and brought home for me what this case is about: the immense loss of John O'Keefe.
Yeah.
So if we just take everything that we absolutely know happened. She made 3 calls to her parents that morning. Likely her father, but definitely to her parents.
Likely her father. The phone records show she called her mother at 1:14 a.m. and the call was unanswered. Then she fell asleep for 3 hours and then woke up. John still wasn't home. She called again. They didn't answer. That's what fucking happened. Look at the phone records, dipshit. And there's nothing shady about that. Because she's close with her parents. I know it's hard for you guys to understand because your mom doesn't love you.
two early morning calls after 1 a.m. that went unanswered. And then a third call, I think at 4:40 a.m. that was picked up. We do not know what that discussion was. Her father wasn't called to the stand. But what we do know is shortly after that conversation with one of her parents, she then backs out of the right bay of Johnny's garage, which is now on Ring camera. The prior 4.5 hours of Ring camera mysteriously went missing. But
again, which they've testified to. Karen Reed had nothing to do with that. And you're right. It is shady how those hours that Ring camera footage disappeared. I don't know. Maybe you should figure out what happened to that, because it wasn't Karen Reed. Even Proctor and Bukaki testify that happened. But go ahead.
The camera's back on for her just in time to carefully and slowly turn and back into Johnny's Traverse. Now, the thing is, if you've been in that driveway, you will be able to see clearly. And actually, if you look at a picture of that driveway in that garage, there's absolutely no need to turn your wheel backing out of that bay.
Oh, this is the new one. So Karen Reed didn't accidentally hit John's Traverse. She did it on purpose because her taillight was already smashed. And she's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to purposely hit his car to make it look like that's what caused the taillight to crack. And that's going to fool them. That's what's going to do it.
You back out directly to the fence and left out the driveway. Johnny's Traverse was generally, when it was in the garage, parked right there on the right, deep in the driveway next to the basketball net, up against the fence. A car can easily clear the Traverse by backing up straight and exiting left. She carefully...
Wait a minute. Okay. So she's backing up out of the driveway, and she turned her wheel this way to make it turn the back, so your ass turns. It goes backwards that way, right? That's what we saw. But Brendan Kane's saying she should have just, because that's what you do if you want to, get a good angle and get the fuck out. That's what a normal person would do, but not Brendan Kane. He just goes right back. He doesn't turn the wheel at all. He just goes right back because he likes to take sharp fucking angles for no reason. And you could easily do it in a fucking mega car like the Lexus LX 570. Like, what? This is fucking stupid.
He turns the wheel, bumps Johnny's Traverse to the point where it shifts forward a little bit, but never makes contact with the taillight. And how do I know that? I know that because if you run Karen's 570 Lexus into Johnny's Traverse, there is a 2-inch gap between that taillight housing and the Traverse. That taillight.
What? He knows it. He's got it all figured out. It couldn't have happened. There's 2 inches between there, he says. It's impossible for the taillight to have hit the Traverse. It's just impossible because, trust me, bro, he's an expert on this shit. He figured it out. They didn't even argue that at the trial, but Brendan Kane, the ginger pallbearer, he figured it all out. He's known Johnny for longer than you guys. You guys wouldn't understand. It's just science. Trust him.
Like, never made contact with the Traverse. Never. Physically impossible to make contact with the
Physically
Traverse.
impossible.
But she has contended on camera. How did your taillight get cracked? You saw it back into John's car. Was her exact words. And my take on that was, that's a lie. You did not crack your taillight there.
Lie. He figured it out.
At one point, Karen's defense produces a picture and very dramatically claims it is Michael Proctor with Jennifer McCabe's daughters.
Okay, so
Time with those connections based on the photo. Connections never met Michael Proctor's sister. Colin has seen Michael Proctor 8 to 10 times in his life, including at Courtney Proctor's wedding and rehearsal dinner and engagement party when Colin was 8 years old.
Okay, so he wasn't best friends with Colin. Nobody thought that. He's a lot older than Colin. His mother called the Alberts a second family. So obviously, and by the way, the Alberts offered him a thank you gift on the day that Karen Reed was arrested. A thank you gift. Did you bring, the FBI found that text message from Julie Albert to Courtney Proctor. Did you miss that part?
Colin does not know Proctor's wife or children. Colin's parents, Chris and Julie, also know Courtney Proctor through Jill Daniels. Connections one might expect in a small town when the guy owns a local pizza shop and is a select board member.
Oh, he wasn't a select board member when this happened, but okay. It's okay that Michael Proctor knows Chris Albert because he's fucking Captain Big Shot in town. Okay.
This is a pattern I began to notice. The gray area gets filled in with false narratives or speculation, which is allegedly what many are now saying Karen began to do as she faced those more severe murder charges in June 2022. Now, going back to what I mentioned earlier about local Boston CBS affiliate WBZ and a story on their website. Back in an earlier episode, I talked about how the soon-to-be assistant police chief, who lived diagonally across from 34 Fairview Road, had a Ring camera facing the exact direction where Karen would have struck John with her SUV. In fact, several other houses in the general area had Ring cameras as well.
Okay, so I pointed this out as well. Guy across the street's got a Ring camera pointing out. Like the first thing you should do is somebody looking for the truth is go talk to him. Like, why didn't your Why didn't, and the defense didn't even do this. They should bring him on the stand and say, what happened to your ring camera the night? Did anybody ask you for the ring camera footage? No? Why not? Seems relevant since it would have caught it all on tape. So, but now he's going to talk. Remember, WBZ reported that there's ring camera footage of this happening.
WBZ TV ran a website story not long after Karen's arrest, claiming they had been told by law enforcement sources that they had a ring camera video of the entire incident from January 29th. An allegation that, if true, would sink any sort of alternative narrative of third-party culprit defense Karen is, in that moment, desperately trying to convince Turtle Boy the belief. And so, according to what WBZ publishes in early 2022 on its website, law enforcement in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts have videotaped evidence of Karen Reed in her SUV murdering her boyfriend, John O'Keefe.
And that's how he ends it. That's how he ends it. That there's video. He literally ends it by saying that there's video evidence of the murder happening. He doesn't point out that they've literally retracted the fucking story since then because there is no video evidence. That's how this lying motherfucker ends it before giving us clips from next week.
Please subscribe to my weekly podcast, Crossing the Line with M.William Phelps, with new episodes dropping every Tuesday night at midnight. Coming up next week on Crossing the Line with M.William Phelps presents 34 Fairview Road.
So in the middle of that puts it right at 12:24. And I have an exact, I would say it's a 12:24 and 2 seconds plus or minus 5 or 6 seconds. That's when she made that 3-point turn. So 8 minutes and 4 seconds after that, that's when she goes in reverse. That would put that at 12:32 and say maybe 6, 7, 8, 9 seconds. Well, so the last piece of data, John's health app shows that his phone last moved at 12:32 and 16 seconds. That
By the way, notice that there are 0 clips from me on this episode, I believe. I don't think there are any clips from me for the first time. He is like, I think he's kind of done. Like, he's got all this footage from me. He's like, fuck Turtle Boy. I'm mad at him now.
Relates perfectly. That's as good as a photo as far as I'm concerned.
She is, I would say, the strongest one out of everyone, and I feel like that she has to be. All of the children in this, you know, the McCabe's have 4 girls. The Alberts have 5 children.
Anybody know whose voice this is? Listen to this voice.
I would say the strongest one out of everyone, and I feel like that she has to be. All of the children in this, you know, the McCabe's have 4 girls. The Alberts have 5 children. They are being relentlessly harassed and stalked as well.
This is next episode. So I'm going to be the villain in the next episode, I'm sure. Anybody know whose voice that is? The Jen McCabe is the real hero here. I don't know whose voice that is.
Constant emails to their schools, their colleges, comments on social media, pictures of them put on social media. A number of the kids have had mental health struggles. Some of them have had to go in inpatient programs. Some of them have had to go to outpatient programs.
Again, I would like to see this documented. I'd like to see this documented. They just throw this out there. The kids have mental health problems. Really? Really? I mean, this is what they're doing, hiding behind the kids, making shit up about them. That's definitely not Krusty's voice. I don't know why people are saying that. I don't know whose voice that is.
Mental health facilities.
You know, Karen had accidentally backed into him and knocked him down, and she must have not realized it. And he also said something about taillight pieces being found at 34 Fairview, but then it was...
What was that? Whose voice is that?
And knocked him down.
Inpatient programs. Some of them have had to go to outpatient programs, to mental health facilities.
You know, Karen had accidentally backed into him and knocked him down, and she must have not realized it. And he also said something about taillight pieces being found at 34 Fairview, but then it was...
I don't know whose voice that is. But yeah. So anyway, that's how bad the podcast is. It's like, I'm not going to make you sit through the whole thing. And, you know, but I was still a team player, you know, and whatever. So it started with this doofus, Matt Valentinas. Let me just look at him. Okay. And, you know, he presented himself to me like he had been a fan for years, right? So here he is messaging me about a story idea in 2021. And then he reaches out in August of 2023 saying, I reached out to you from an open secret account. Also, I'm a local entertainment attorney and want to talk to you about the Karen Reed case. Okay. And he had previously sent me story ideas from 2020, and that means you're a fan. And he's like, hi, this is Matt Valentinas. I produced an open secret. I want to talk to you about your great work, he called it, on the Karen Reed case. So when you tell me my work on the Karen Reed case is great, that seems to suggest you are a fan and a supporter and that you agree with what I'm saying about it. It's great work. I'm a Boston-based entertainment attorney. Notice he doesn't say anything here about I'm a manager. He just says I'm a Boston-based entertainment attorney. Okay? And so we start talking. And then I get arrested, and he's like, I can get you on Fox Nation to talk about this. He never came through with that. Okay? And then on December 6th, he's like, I remain very interested in representing you. And he puts down here, Matt Valentinas of counsel, SenateWilliams.com. So he doesn't say anything here about I want to be your manager, like as counsel. Okay. And then I go to jail. And when I'm in jail, he writes me a fucking email thinking I can read it in there. Sorry, I haven't written sooner. I hope this email finds you as well as can be. I wanted to check in and see how you're doing. I've got a lot of clients on the true crime roster side in the federal prison system. Sure you do. But I didn't suspect to ever see you in jail. But I guess it should not really be surprised to see them put you in there, given what you've exposed. It's the last card. So he agrees. Like, you've exposed lots of corruption here, and good for you. You know, you've exposed this. It's the last card they've had. Now that you've exposed them even further. You're a brave dude, and you definitely push boundaries farther than most would dare to. But you'll come out of this stronger and wiser for it. Has the documentary team stuck by you? Or did the arrest trigger any morals clauses to give you an excuse to bail on you? I hope they didn't. But if they did, let me know. And I am confident I can help you find another documentary to work with. Anyway, man, I miss your shows and looking forward to you getting out soon. Stay strong, and hopefully you'll get this email. As I saw you write, you have a tablet inside. Yeah, you don't get email in there, but okay. Then I get out, and he's bugging me about, like, you may want to engage my services as your literary manager or entertainment lawyer. Okay, I can help you do all this stuff. He clearly was a fan. Here's a tweet from July. Journalist Turtle Boy being arrested by the top team of the State Police Mass Fugitive Unit for investigating Karen Reed case. It is a search warrant for his house, but not for the house where dead police officer John O'Keefe was found. Clearly, this guy supports what I'm doing, right? Okay. So I signed a managerial agreement with them, and it's just for the book publishing stuff, though. Okay. Which never came to fruition. And then he says he wants me to do a podcast, and he hooks me up with this guy. He's like, oh, Matt Phelps is the best. Pro's pro. One of the greatest. Bigger than Rogan, he kept saying. Bigger than Rogan when he wants to be. Look at him. He's signing autographs. Look at this guy. He's a real serious podcaster. Well, as I later found out, he didn't shop this around at all. Like, he didn't ask any other podcasters. Like, he didn't get the best deal we could have gotten because he just took his buddy, who, as it turns out, he's had a long-standing relationship with. Because you look back, and he has been promoting this guy since 2013. M.William Phelps. Check him out. The best. Check out his book. And then Phelps has all these either bot accounts or somebody that on the same day, whenever he has a book come out, just Master of True Crime, M.William Phelps. Master of True Crime, M.William Phelps. Master of True Crime, M.William Phelps. The same shit over and over again. It's like, what? Spotlight on his Phelps. Okay. It's just Valentinas sucking his dick. Like, this dude wants to fuck M.William Phelps. He is sitting at home right now, just beating his pud, thinking, oh, M.William Phelps. Oh, I love it. He's the best in true crime. Oh, it's my boy. Okay. And so Phelps is traveling now. He's great. We're going to get rocking on the podcast. And so me and Phelps are talking back and forth. Okay. And Phelps, he's like, yeah, Aidan, Proctor testifies he didn't know Albert. That's an emphatic lie, right? Yeah, that is an emphatic lie. Totally. Okay. The Google search, he seemed to believe that was legit. He sends this to me on 6/25. Brian turning red. Oh my God, he looks like he wants to jump over that railing and attack. This is classic. This closing is brilliant. If you guys got messages like this from someone, wouldn't you think that they aligned with you? Wouldn't you? All my conversations with him, and then we had many interviews, he seemed to agree with me. There was never anything about what you're hearing in this other thing. None of that ever came up. All I got was this. Right? And they wanted me to keep exclusive content. And this is one thing Valentine has said. This is good for several reasons. Number one, we control the story our way. Because that was really important. He knows that this is part of my brand, that I fully believe in Karen Reed's innocence, and I wouldn't want to get involved in a project otherwise. And since he's my manager, he's going to want to represent me, you know, and promote my best interests. He knows that I don't want to be attached to something like that. So we control it our way. When we do this podcast, it's going to be our way. It's going to be, you know, that Karen Reed's innocent and you're the good guy because I love you, Turtle Boy. As you saw in your fucking emails, I'm literally sucking your dick too and telling you what an awesome guy you are. You're so brave. We're going to sell it our way. Sold. I'm down with that. I mean, I don't want to be part of a podcast that makes me seem like I ain't going to be part of a podcast that lies and covers for murderers. That's not going to happen. We'll get all the money. You know, we're going to be rich from this, blah, blah, blah. You know, asking me to limit the footage, save some shit, hungrier stuff. Okay. You know, you're going to get 40% of whatever. And he understood, like, because this guy was like a Valentinas, I thought was good because he understood that business is business, you know, and he understood that, like, look at this conversation about the sandpaper. When we found out that Sandpaper was working with the McAlberts, I said, this is the one I'm told the British company is taking a pro McAlbert position they're doing. And he goes, super, thanks. I bet this does not age well for them. Yeah, if you take a pro McAlbert position, you're right. It's not going to age well. Agreed. I go, can they not read the room? Popular support is overwhelmingly on Karen's side. They cast her and me as the villain, and the McAlberts as the protagonist. This may totally backfire on them. It only makes you look better. We already know if they find out the truth, they are fucked. And if they put out falsehoods, they are fucked. It's a lose-lose for them. And then he signs me up to work with the guy who does just that. And so you would think if Valentinas had any sort of integrity, he would step in and say to Phelps, whoa, whoa, whoa. This is not what Aidan agreed to. Oh, this is a problem. Instead, he's so afraid of him. He's just frightened. He can't go to him and ask him any sort of questions. Okay? He was right. Public opinion polls showed that like 90% of people thought Karen Reed was innocent. So he tells me this, Phelps sends me this text on August 9th saying, wow, the Brady letter to the attorneys. This shit is about to get very serious. The feds are closing the vice. I think you don't send that letter out without a shitstorm coming. Okay. All right. So I signed this contract with Mom's Basement Media LLC, which probably should have been a red flag. And, you know, that I'm going to get 40% of all revenue, whatever. I just trust this guy. But now he's telling me that, well, you don't get to see how many downloads you get. You don't get to see how much revenue there is. You just got to trust me. And you get 40% of trust me. That's it. And by the way, the podcast is bombing. So, and it's bombing because of Phelps. Like, yeah, you got like Plevin likes it, but nobody watches Plevin. And that's a bad business decision. You're supposed to be about business, right? None of you guys are listening to this shit. None of you are downloading it. I asked people to just download it anyway. And a lot of you, understandably, were like, fuck yourself, Turtle Boy. I'm not a sheep. I don't obey. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not supporting this crap. And I get it. And it's like, it's bombing. Like if this was really good, a lot of you would probably fucking download it and listen to it. But it sucks. And he's the one costing us money. But, you know, and so I published this email where it's like, Phelps is like, I need pictures of you and Karen, an exclusive photo no one's had yet. Yeah, okay. All this stuff. So I published this, right? Now let's go to my Twitter account. Oh, Phelps, he just called you back? That's awesome. Hold on. Do I have this? All right. So Matt Valentinas files a copyright claim against me. Look at this. Cloudflare received a DMCA copyright infringement complaint regarding this. So Matt Valentinas files a copyright. And he says, that the copyright violator, blogger Aidan Kearney, published a blog entitled Can't Cover Up Part 448. Inside this article, he used a screenshot of a copyright protected email that he had no right to publish, dated 7/17. It's from M.William Phelps to Aidan Kearney and Matt Valentinas. The email clearly has a copyright notice in the signature, which the violating blogger purposely cropped out of a screenshot published. I think he called me a journalist before. He called me this is how petty these motherfuckers are. It was a journalist one day, and now he gets mad at me, and suddenly I become a blogger. Okay? All right. Give me 1 sec. We'll be right. Hold on. It's getting late. Give me a minute. I'll be right back. Hold on. I got to find something for you guys to watch while I'm gone. Anything good here? Hold on. All right, I'll just find something fucking. I was throwing a video here. Hold on.
It's go, 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 go time. Tick, tick, boom. Bring the noise. Go, baby, we bringing out toys. Separating from the boys. Chopper be singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this. So it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's still quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go ahead, going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
It's go, 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 go time. Tick, tick, boom. You can't stop me. So.
All right. So sorry about that. All right, we're back. All right. So he goes, let's see. Pasted below is the original email. So he's saying, I've never heard of this before. This is wild to me, that the whole email is copyrighted. Like, you write me an email, you're not allowed to screenshot it and share it. You know how many times my group chat messages have been shared on social media? All I had to do, unbeknownst to me, was just put a disclaimer at the bottom saying this whole thing's copyrighted. You can't screenshot it. I didn't know that was a thing. You can just do that. You can just say that, oh, this whole thing's screenshot. Sorry, guys, you're not allowed to screenshot this and share it. You're not allowed to do that. I had no idea you could do that. So he's saying that you can, except there's something called fair use. I can take something that you've said and use it for content to criticize it. That's what I was doing in the context of a story. And I've got a lawyer too. I've already got a lawyer. We've already filed something. We sent it back to Cloudflare. We're good. This is not copyright. This is what an incompetent fucking moron this guy is. Moron. And why is he writing this? Why is Valentinas writing the email if he doesn't own the copyright? Because he seems to be acting as his attorney, doesn't he? But yet he doesn't say, I'm his attorney here, does he? So why is he writing an email on Phelps's behalf? How does that make any sense? Right? Please note this email is private. Not anymore, it's not. And the copyright is owned exclusively by M.William Phelps, LLC, and the recipient does not have permission to publish, post, or resend anyone at any time without the exclusive permission of M.William Phelps. Let me be very clear, Valentinas. I don't want your permission. I don't need your permission, and I will certainly not seek your permission. I will fucking post that wherever I want, whenever I want. If somehow this fucking succeeds and it gets taken down, I will just put it up again. and I will share it a million fucking times on social media over and over and over and over again. And I'll never fucking stop, ever. Because you're not going to shut me up. You're a fan. You should know how this works. You're a fanboy. You sucked my dick while I was in prison, ironically. Okay? And then he goes, I have a JPEG of the original email if needed, but there was nowhere to post. He couldn't figure it out. This box would not let me cut and paste it in. And then he writes this: the violator is out on bail on 18 counts of witness intimidation in a murder trial and uses his blog to intimidate people. Oh, the guy who was my big fan 5 minutes ago and thought that this whole thing was unjust and I'm a brave dude. All of a sudden, I'm a witness intimidator 5 seconds later. He has no respect for copyrights. We requested this be taken down immediately. As stated, I tried to cut and paste the email in here so you can see it. Oh, it's needed. Oh, we're so sad. He's so sad. Okay. So anyway, yeah, he actually did that. You know, he's such a pussy. Oh my God. So anyway, Phelps, here's Phelps asking for stuff. He asked me, anyway, I've shared a lot of this stuff. We don't need to go over all this again. Again, I've done it all. We could talk about this another time. It's just getting a little bit late, but what I was going to say. So Plevin had on Valentinas last night, apparently. Well, we were all having a great time celebrating this beautiful movement and raising money for the Karen Reed Legal Defense Team. All these awesome people were in one room together, just fucking killing it and having a great time. Plevin had on Valentinas. Like, this is what a loser Valentinas is. Fucking loser. And it was epic. Okay. I listened to it today and it was so bad, but I feel like I need more time. So what I'm going to do is Tuesday, I'm going to play it. Okay. And we are going to all have a good laugh at it because we all need that. Right. Because it's fun to laugh at Plevin like that. And I was talking to Will today, the Glare, about it. And he's like, and this is the attitude you have to have with these people. Like Sean in the Gulf has become what Plevin has. Like, they are here for our amusement. So people are like, why are you paying attention to them? Why are you even giving them any? Because it's funny. Because it's amusing to laugh at them. That's it. Because they're so stupid. They're so stupid. You know? I didn't see 1,000 people watch it. There's like 300 people watching it. You know? He won't answer the call. Do Phelps and Valentinas work for the McAlberts? No. You know, I don't think it's like, some people have asked that. Are they plans? No, it's much simpler than that. If you actually read the article I posted, you'll understand the evolution of this, is that they were fully on board. They understood it all. And then Phelps got mad at me. Phelps got mad at me because I wasn't getting him enough. I wasn't doing his work for him enough. Like, you're not getting me enough videos. You're not doing all this bitch work for me and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, that combined with the fact that he's one of those people that thinks he has to be smarter than everyone else. You know what I mean? Like, everybody else in the world thinks Karen Reed is innocent because that's what the facts and the evidence shows us, is that she's innocent. So I got to be smart, but I'm smart. I'm Matt fucking Phelps. You know, I got 45 books under my belt, like nothing. I sell that shit like crazy. My bots on Twitter all promote it. I'm a big deal. So I have to be smarter. Everyone else thinks it's one way, but I look deeper and I see it another way, and I'm much more enlightened. That's all this is with him. It's ego. It's just ego, like wanting to be the smartest person in the room, because it ain't money. Even Plevin and I both agree on that. Like, this proves that it's not about the money for these guys, because this is the exact opposite of making money. This is like fucking, and that's where Valentinas should have been like, bro, my job is to help promote this and make money. This is not working out. Like, this is costing all of us money. Okay. On top of it, it's also untrue. But so Phelps is doing it because he's arrogant and pompous and he's mad at me. That's it. That's why he thinks that's why he's saying Karen Reed's guilty. Valentinas is doing it because he wants to fuck Phelps. That's it. Like he's just in love with Phelps. Whatever Phelps says, that's it. And it's just that simple. Like it's that simple. Like I've never seen that one before. I've seen a lot of the Phelps stuff before where somebody gets mad at you and then thinks Karen Reed's guilty, but I've never seen the I want to fuck somebody who's mad at Turtle Boy and now thinks Karen Reed is guilty. That's the first one. That's the first one. And that's Valentinas. He wants to fuck Phelps. And now Karen Reed's guilty because Phelps says Karen Reed's guilty. Okay. Okay. So, and by the way, this ain't the first time this has happened. And I'll show you this in the next installment of this too, right? I mean, I found some Reddit posts. I mean, you like to do research? Oh, yes, so do I. Okay. It's like, this is I'll put it in the freaking chat. So many issues with the new Crossing the Lines podcast. I don't know if that went through or not. But yeah, like you can read this. This is from, I don't even know what, 3 years ago. And yeah, everyone seems to agree. It sucked. There's a whole fucking Reddit thread about it. Like this dude's been doing this for years. Years. This is his thing. Just trying to be the antagonist and build, things. I take the opposite opinion and I'm smarter than you guys. Read my book. You'll have to pay for it. You'll be the first. So yeah, he's just not an honest person. And I couldn't be more. Now, Valentinas claims that he's terminated the contract. I haven't gotten anything. I've received no paperwork for this. So there's that. There's that. And again, yeah, I mean, I trust people. It doesn't always work out. Yeah, it's like, he's my manager. He's supposed to look like it was his job to vet. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, the bigger problem here is Valentinas, not Phelps. Like he's the much bigger problem because he's the pussy that is too afraid to stand up for his client. He's just a pussy. And Meredith heard the conversations with him. She agrees. He's a huge pussy at the end of the day. So we can listen to that at another time. But let me play. I want to end with this, right? So my friend Christy Citroni, who was in Ratchet Madness and didn't advance past the first round. So we have no reason to like each other or anything like that. She's sharing she's bringing a lot of what we call receipts. You know what I mean? And she has shared some receipts, if you will, okay, that I want to play for you. Okay. All right. Let me see. Let me know if you guys. I'm going to play some audio here and let me know if you guys can hear this or not. I haven't heard a couple of these. Okay. So these are all voicemails that Twisted Tragedies left for Christy back when she thought that she could trust Christy. Let me play this one. You guys hear this? You know, can you guys hear that? Okay, let me share my screen then. Hold on. So make sure nothing comes up here. All right, I can share this. That's fine. All right, now so this is a voicemail left by Evicted Tragedies, who lives in a migrant hotel. She's homeless. hasn't owed like $52,000 in unpaid rent in government housing, and is unemployed, refuses to get a job. Same with her boyfriend. It's just as ratchet as you can get. Used to be a Karen Reed supporter until I wrote an article about her so she was claimed to be a Turtle Boy and Karen Reed supporter, but was really just using the movement to grift. And she said that YouTube was her full-time job and was just constantly asking for donos, and she provided nothing at all, like was useless, but claimed to be a big Karen Reed supporter. And when I exposed her a couple months after that, she realized, oh wait, Karen Reed's actually guilty, and it is certain of it now, and has befriended Krusty and the fake victim, who just did nothing but talk trash about her. And all these girls, dude, they all talk trash about Elisa because Elisa is constantly asking them for money and making them feel bad because she's homeless and refuses to get a job. And so Christy's got all the receipts on these people. She's got all the screenshots of their group chats. It's good stuff. And so on February 26th, this is the day of the Karen Reed hearing in which the fake victim showed up for the first time. She had never come to a hearing before. And so she shows up for the first time on the 26th. And as it turns out, the fake victim was babysitting her kids that day. She was babysitting the kids. And so Evicted Tragedies was babysitting the kids. I don't know how the fuck she got there. And then afterwards, that night, I got a voicemail from Kate Peter. And you guys might have heard this voicemail before, the one where she says, "Hey, Aidan, it's Kate, crusty panties." Remember that voicemail she left? Have you guys heard this voicemail, or should I play it again? I think we've all heard it before. Where she says, "I'm going to come to your fucking parents' house," and blah, blah, blah. She was charged with witness intimidation for this horrible voicemail that she left me. And she sounded drunk when she left it. Well, now we know. Listen to this message that Elisa Bennett left about that incident.
Oh yeah. There was the one time that she fucking called Aidan that night. We were all at Lindsay's drinking. We had a good time. We had some wine. It was the day that she went to court with the O'Keefes. I babysat the kids, and she went, and then she had to go back to the police station. So Kate had to come to pick up her other kid.
So this was Monday. They're all drinking together. They're just sitting around in the fake victim's government subsidized apartment and just getting drunk with the kids. Normal. Okay.
Because I didn't have a car. So Kate had to come to pick up her kid from basketball.
Okay.
And while she was at the police station dealing with the rest of the fucking nonsense. And I remember her saying, "Oh, well," I can't even remember who it was at that time. "Oh yeah, I told so-and-so, that I would give them their information to the doc, but I never intended on it. I'm not going to." And then of course, later on, Lindsay told me she was saying the same thing about other people. "Oh, I never intended on it. I never intended on giving the information. Oh, I just said that. I never intended on giving them the phone numbers." So we knew that she was fucking lying. So, but again, so for instance, if Lindsay called her out right now today about that and said, "Don't you remember you said this, this, and this to me, Kate?" Kate would play it off like she never said it. It never happened.
So she's saying there that Kate Peter was claiming that she's interviewing with the documentary people from Sandpaper, and that she was going to hook the fake victim and them up with the Sandpaper people. And then she never did. And then she's mad at the fake victim for not calling out Kate because they're all afraid of Kate. That seems to be what she's saying there. I don't know.
That's not a thing.
Okay. And then she says this. What's this one?
She did a while. It was before Kate had asked her to use that, use her conference room for that part of the Netflix documentary. It was before that because she could already tell that she was.
So Kate was being interviewed by the documentary people, they're saying. Right? And hold on. We're still live, right? Okay, we are. I think we're still live. I just can't see the chat coming up anymore. Hold on, let me make sure. Yeah, we are. Okay, cool. So Kate was being interviewed in the fake victims conference room at her apartment by Netflix. This is true. This is fucking wild that this is the documentary people, like, this is who you're interviewing to find the truth about John O'Keefe is Krusty Panties in the fake victim's apartment. Like, what?
Telling them like, oh, I'll give them your number to talk to them, and of course they never called. So it was before that where she already felt like she was doing that, when she like flipped out one day and was like, thought you were my fucking friend, blah blah blah, whatever. And Kate was like, I know I fucked up. She said she was crying and everything, like, you know, put on the fucking water where it's like, I know I fucked up, blah blah blah, blah. Like, so I mean, but again, it's all an act. And that was before that. So of course Kate tried to play like, you know, and he's like, I've given her many chances, many fucking chances. She's like, of course, you know, I try to see the best in people and I try to give people chances. She's like, at this point, it's what's the fucking point? But she's in her shitty situation where what is she really supposed to do? You know, if she tries to slowly cut off Kate, cool. But in the meantime, she can't act like, she can't just be like, fuck you, Kate, fuck off.
So she's saying that the fake victim wants to cut ties with Krusty Panties because she's such a liar. And she's afraid to do that. Why is she afraid to do that?
She's too afraid of her going like Aidan 2.0.
Oh, okay.
So
she's worried that Kate will, so she's scared of Kate. That's what she's saying. Okay, good to
like
know.
her plan is to, I guess, slowly just sort of back away, not
Slowly.
talk to her as much, not tell her shit, like, you know.
Oh, okay.
The slow moving away from her.
Oh.
Shit.
Hmm.
She's like, I can't have and she's like, I got too much writing to have my name associated with like her going down there and doing this shit. Like, like I can't do it. It's
Interesting. Okay. And what about this one? What does this one say? Oh, this is from 8/9, August 9th.
so after he had her phone extraction and he basically couldn't destroy her life any further, she finally was like, you know what? He has nothing left to fucking throw out there. It's all my kids' information, all the everything that I try to protect my children and their identities and like, you know, their private shit. Like, and he has it all now and he's handing it out to people. So there's nothing else left to lose at this point. And she wasn't afraid anymore to want them to press charges because he couldn't do anything else. What else does he have? You know what I'm saying? So at that point, she was like, no, now he should be held accountable. Now press charges because there's nothing else he can do to me.
Oh, okay. So she's explaining there why was she suddenly saying that she was a victim of rape? Oh, well, you know, she kept it a secret for a while, and then he released the phone extraction stuff showing that she conspired with Krusty Panties and Brian Tully and Carmelo to have him framed and sent to jail. So now she suddenly remembers that she was raped. This is what's going on behind the scenes. Remember, the government worked with these people. Then she says this one.
Lindsay is no idiot, bro.
Lindsay's no idiot.
And she knows the shit she suffered because of Kate.
Oh.
The other day,
she suffered because of
we were talking and she was like, oh yeah, Kate said she was going to destroy her phone. She's like, so once again, I have no way to prove the Paul stuff. But then we realized they were at Discord. So Lindsay went back to Discord to try to find the messages. They were all deleted.
Did you hear what she said there? So Krusty Panties destroyed her phone. Again, let me play that one more time.
Lindsay is no idiot, bro. And she knows the shit she suffered because of Kate. The other day, we were talking.
And she's right about that. That all, like, nobody would know who the fake victim was if it wasn't for Kate using her to get revenge on me. Like, the fake victim's not without fault there. Like, she entirely participated in herself. She's just as bad as Krusty, but Krusty didn't care about like the fact that if you were actually looking out for the fake victim's best interest, you'd be like, yeah, you don't want to do this. You don't want to turn out like me, you know, but she doesn't give a fuck about her. And I think she knows that she's used by her, but go ahead.
So after he had her phone extraction and he basically couldn't destroy her life any further, she finally was like, you know what? He has nothing left.
Oh no, wrong one. Hold on.
And she was like, oh yeah, Kate said she was going to destroy her phone. She's like, so once again,
Kate's going to destroy your phone.
So once again, I have no way to prove the Paul stuff.
The Paul stuff is that Paul O'Keefe invited her to court. Okay. Because remember, we're going to cross-examine her about this. She claims that Paul O'Keefe invited her to court on February 26th. That's why she ended up there. And she claims that, well, there's evidence of this in Kate's phone, that Kate's the one who told her this. Remember, Kate told her that she didn't actually speak to Paul O'Keefe. She talked to Kate Peter, who allegedly spoke to Paul O'Keefe and told her to invite Lindsay. And Paul O'Keefe has denied this. And so she's like, I need proof of this. There's messages where Kate told me this, right? There's messages of this. So she goes to try to get the messages, which are in Discord, and listen to what happened.
So once again, I have no way to prove the Paul stuff. But then we realized they were at Discord. So Lindsay went back to Discord to try to find the messages. They were all deleted.
Oh, she deleted them.
So she asked Kate. Kate was like, oh yeah, when I knew they were going to take your phone, I went back and deleted some stuff.
Oh, so Kate is, so now we have testimony from Krusty Panties that she deleted evidence from her phone. Deleted evidence from her phone of that. And she doesn't want it coming out that she told the fake victim that Paul O'Keefe told her this. So she's selling her out.
Lindsay says to me, like, why the fuck would she delete those? Those aren't incriminating. So what the hell would she delete those for?
Yeah.
Well, we know why.
Why?
Lindsay's like, we clearly know why. Like, of course we fucking know why.
Why?
Like, she's not an idiot, bro.
Oh.
Like, she deleted them, so there's no evidence that it's your word against hers.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
She sold her out. You hate to see it. Now, I haven't heard this one yet. Let me play this one. I don't know what this one says. Wait, no.
So where do you think Kate...
Oh, no, this one.
This information stays here. What I'm about to tell you guys, it stays here in this fucking group.
No, it doesn't.
But I'm sorry. Like, I already know for 100% fact that Kate was stopping people and making sure certain people didn't talk to these documentarians on purpose.
Oh.
And I'll tell you why. But I just want everybody to know this is information that stays here with us. And doesn't go any further because it's important.
I guess not. Okay. What about this one?
Did her 3 or 4 hours of talking for the documentary for Netflix.
Wait.
You would think probably at her house, right?
Hold on.
So where do you think Kate did her 3 or 4 hours of talking for the documentary for Netflix?
3 or 4 hours.
You would think probably at her house, right? No.
Oh, really? Where?
Nope. Not at her house.
Where?
At Lindsay's house.
Oh.
And not in Lindsay's house. She wanted to use Lindsay's conference room.
Oh, okay.
Right? Makes it sound great and all, like, oh, you know, they're probably going to want to talk to you. I'll see if the, you know, blah, 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 whatever. Lindsay goes down probably, I think, halfway through. Kate sort of like shuffles her out, like, oh, I'll be done soon, blah, blah, whatever. Okay, fine.
It's real.
Then comes back like another 2 hours later, and Lindsay's like, oh, I completely fucking even forgot she was there until she came back. And was like, yeah, no, you know, they said that they would talk to you a different time, not now. Like, why?
So she went, like, the fake victim really wants to go on camera and talk to the Netflix people about me, I'm sure. And, but she can't because Krusty won't give her access to them. Okay.
Why wouldn't they want to talk to Lindsay while they're in her fucking building right then and there?
Yeah.
Lindsay's like, I'm not an idiot, bro. I'm not a fucking moron. She clearly wanted to use my place because she didn't want to, show her place or, you know what I mean?
Understandable.
So
the fake victim knows that Kate lives in a hellhole, and the fake victim lives in a $4,200 a month, very nice apartment, and pays, I think, probably $500 a month to actually stay there. The rest is subsidized by the taxpayers, and it comes with a conference room, so it looks much more official. So, once again, the fake victim is being used by Krusty and is too scared to say something to her. And this offends Evicted Tragedies in the migrant hotel because, why won't she stand up to Krusty Panties?
Oh, that's clearly why she probably wanted them to believe she lived there in some high class place.
Yeah.
Right. And she's like, do you know how many people she told me that she said she was gonna, like, the documentarians were gonna call, and they never did. And she said she never had any intention on connecting those people. She's like, so that makes no sense. They're not gonna want to talk to her while they're literally in her fucking building. If she's right down the hall.
They're all just so
I'm not a fucking idiot, dude.
They're all just so
I'm
horrible.
not a fucking moron.
And you love to see it. And so they all hate each other. All these women fucking hate each other and just talk shit about each other. And they're all using each other. And it's all because of me. Can you believe I unite these people? Like, they all put it aside because of mutual hatred of me. They've all said done horrible, nasty things. None of these people would ever spend 5 minutes being friends with each other, but they've all connected over an unhealthy obsession with yours truly. And so here we are. So anyway, let me read a couple turtle chats and then we'll call it a night. All right. So that was some fun content to end it. Let's see what we got here. Tammy sends $5 and goes, I went to read and comment on that stream. The comments are turned off. Interesting. Which Plevin's? Interesting. Thank you. Kelly sends $11 and says, I hate him. I hate him. I hate him. Phelps. Yeah, exactly. I feel that one. A-Rod Rodriguez sends $10 and goes, the manager, and A-Rod, by the way, is the one who came up, who did that painting, got that painting done for me of the Bradle and me entrance into court on December 22nd, which is badass. Love it. She says, other people always give a buckload of information to Matt. To do a podcast, you didn't. He's definitely doing this to get back at you since you didn't make it easy for him. Exactly. That's exactly it. Jen Clark sends $10 and goes, please no more Phelps. It's Sunday night. That crap is nauseating and traumatizing. My bad. Ryan sends $5 and goes, huge thank you to Erica Walsh for all she does in the movement. Day in and day out, she is there for not only Karen and Aidan, but each and every supporter as well. And I'm not gonna lie, she's one of the first people I thought of that, like, I wish she was there last night. You know what I mean? And I don't want her to forget how important she is to all this. Every fucking day that woman was there outside of court. Every fucking day. A soldier for justice, and we love Erica Walsh. So thank you very much. You're amazing. Thank you for that dono as well. That's from Ryan. Mass and Cast Mafia says $10 and says, fuck, marry, kill. Plevin, Krusty, and Jill Daniels, what are you doing? Also give us fucking McDonough and free Karen Reed. Oh, God. Fuck, marry, kill. Okay. You got to kill Krusty. You got to kill Krusty. Got to do it. I guess you got to fuck Jill Daniels, right? You got to fuck Jill Daniels. You just got to do it. You gotta suck it up and do it. I'm not fucking Plevin because you don't have to fuck your spouse. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't fuck their wives and whatever. So I could just fake gay marry Plevin, I guess, for unknown reasons, just for the wicker, for the freak, so I can inherit all the wicker. No prenup. And yeah, I guess that would be my choice. So, all right, next up. Okay, I think that's it for the, let's see. Yeah. All right, do we have any cash apps here? Yeah, we have Michael sends $13 and says, Valentinas' lawyer group got an email about him. Good. You know, that's your right to do so. That's your absolute right to do so. So thank you very much for that. Rachel sends $5 and goes, odds that the McAlberts have identical STD panels. What's an STD panel? Like STDs? Probably. $5 from Rachel Miller says, Phelpsy Chubb after speaking with the McAlberts. Sorry. Thank you, Rachel. Okay. Suzanne sends $5 and goes, did Krusty's case get canceled tomorrow? So I had to ask for a different date because I have a conflict. I have to bring my son to the dentist tomorrow. It was just not, it was a Zoom thing and I really got to be there for it. And I got to be in the room with the dentist for him for this tomorrow. So yeah, there's that. Okay. All right. Next up. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, cool. All right. Anybody else got anything to say? I'm sorry. I wanted to play the Plevin on. That was my big plan tonight, was to play that. It was going to be so good. And I ran out of time. Where'd the fucking time go? It's almost a 4-hour fucking stream. Goodness gracious. But a sexless marriage to Plevin Well, having sex with Jill on the side sounds like hell. That also sounds like hell. The whole thing sounded horrible. But it is what it is. Is the clock wrong? People shouldn't check the clock. Oh, yeah, it's about 5 minutes off, isn't it? Yeah, there it is. Okay. It's nice to know they're just as toxic to each other as they are to Turtle Boy. That is reassuring, is it not? Yeah. See you Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Oh, can't read here on Tuesday. We all got to be there for that. It's going to be dope. So no Krusty tomorrow. There's no Krusty Court tomorrow. If you show up to Leominster, it's going to be wasteful. It was all on Zoom anyway. You wouldn't have seen her anyway. Again, it's for a magistrate's hearing, which is not open to the public to begin with. So, Chloe Albert, where's your chat? I didn't see it, my pal. I did not see it. What name did you sign up as? Was it recent? I don't see one for you there, pal. But if I missed you, sorry about that. I don't think he was paid by the Phelps. I disagree. I don't think he was pre-planned. A lot of people think that, like they think the fake victim. No, sometimes, guys, people just get mad at me and they change. The same with the fake victim. Like she was not at all. Like people, no, she was not some plant. Like trust me, if she was a plant, she had to do a lot to be the plant. You know what I mean? A lot. Like really dedicated to the cause. Really dedicated. If I send you a turtle chat, will you read on Tuesday? Yes, I will. I am a little hungover. I'm not going to lie. It was a tough night. It was a fun night. Lots of joyous stuff. Lots of joyous stuff happened. JFK Rip Phelps. I got to see that. Okay. All right, guys. Anyway, the hearing is on at 10 o'clock on Tuesday. So there we go. All right, guys. I love y'all. And I'll see you guys for next episode of the live show on Tuesday night. We'll talk about the hearing and we'll play the audio of Plevin's show with Valentinas. All right. Peace, Turtle Riders.